last session we did a kind of wrap up with Amu uh outside the city of Salt in the swamps where he escaped with Pio from the 10th house.
Yeah.
And Pio, the very few times in this campaign he's actually sober. He and Amu have a basically a discussion about how they're going to uh go the equivalent of like northwest of the city, where the forest people were a while back, but like to the Musteli um forest and basically get contact with home. Um and they discuss the Avis wizard that attacked them and how they believe he acted independently from his 11th house connections. Um and yeah, basically Pio's still worried about the upcoming dwarven invasion, and there's kind of a discussion of like, is it any of this worth it? Like, kind of thing after what they just saw happen in the city. Um, then we switch to the forest folk, and we kind of rewind time a little bit to 2 days prior, when, which is about the last time we were with the forest people. It's funny to me that we can have like 4 or 5 sessions on average represent like 2 days. Um, but nevertheless, we
On a good
returned.
day.
Yeah, on a good day. There was, basically embraces with the children and some discussions with them, some stew, some critiques of the stew on Eros's part. Made by Rock. The stew was made by Roxana. Um, there was a lot happening in those first few moments. I didn't get a chance to write all the notes down. Um, but nevertheless, eventually, Fedrina, the mother of Althea, who you guys Strike adopted Althea, and then you guys kind of also adopted Fedrina, sort of. Um,
You adopted the
she,
kids and the mom.
yeah, she breaks away from the group. Like this is just like overwhelming to her. Like so much of you all after so much quiet over the weeks before. Strike follows her to the tent and they kind of discuss Althea. And Fedrina very much hints to eventually how she doesn't quite understand why Strike cares so much about these things. But nevertheless, she's trying with Althea, but it's 13, 14 years of lost time. So um as and when and Althea is a very young elf, so there is still that factor as well. I think is part of it. Eros also spends some time during this. I thought it was more or less concurrent. The talks to Althea more or less about her mom, but it's obvious Althea is closer to Eros than the others. I think
Okay.
Althea of all the characters, Althea and Donovan of all the kids, I think see Eros more as a motherly figure than the other ones do. Um,
Worst role model ever.
they don't know any better. Sadar spends some time with Owl. His odd owl bear has gone through a lot, and they kind of just enjoy the stars. Um, Eros sends a magical message to the goddess Mistra again, and more or less apologizes for the presumption and assumption of like, hey, God help me, I guess was the tone. Um, and so there was kind of like a loose, I think, exchange of like, maybe you should just, pray to me, like most more normal people do. So,
Doing booty calls. Well, I'm
yeah,
not normal.
yeah, it's very true. It's okay. Then, I messed up the calendar. Nevertheless, I forgot about that one little note. You guys spend about 5 days doing various tasks to prepare for the upcoming combat. with the Jorvians. You guys sent the dragons to kind of distract them. There's a layer of the walkers, a handful of them that are down there too. Um, so there's some bit of time as best as you guys can tell. Um, Above game, you have about 15 days or so until they arrive. Um, more or less. So of like downtime that we're playing with. Those 5 days are so you basically this session you have about 10 days. Um, but nevertheless, Trillo does some research about the mechanoids, Cash and Kilrear, and figures out they're not exactly sentient, but they are alive. Like their sentience is questionable because they do rely so much on the pilots themselves. But there is a presence, a soul, if you will, about them. Like they are individuals. But he talks about he also I think Eros was loosely part of this conversation too, but upgrading them and like how does that work? He started to his people have had including Cash before the city was taken over, like his people have had two in their possession for a very long time, more or less. And he learn they can siphon power, energy, life force, whatever you want to call it. Life and death, the balance between that. They are a conduit of those things. These primordials are, in a way. And he associates it to his use of ki and how he has to expend energy in order to make things happen, and how he can also spend energy to remove or create things. And there is a life force that is part of Cash, and the others is very much part of that. And then Eros, there's some discussion with Eros about how Eros before Sarek was involved, or I think Sarek or Liam were in game. There was a fight with dwarves. Maybe it was Knowles. I don't know. It's been a while. But Eros, the corpses, try see something in Cash and
Oh, that was
basically
the Tarask fight when we were
that
fighting
was
all
the
those
Trask fight.
Tarask, all those
Never
different
mind.
Tarasks.
Okay, so they were drow, but nevertheless, and siphoned some energy off of them, and was able to use that energy later on to increase one of their attacks. If she would have held on to it, they've learned now, and let that energy build a little bit more. Um, it would eventually allowed Cash to upgrade, basically, and gain some other power, more or less. Um, they think more on it, and Eros, with their idea the most powerful thing to sacrifice is the living essence of a mage. Whatever it doesn't matter the class to me. Like anything cast magic is usually what the world calls a mage in most situations. So they, but also magical creatures and corpses. Corpses can too, but corpses is the least effective of the three ways that you can kind of give energy to this thing. They started to get to the idea, but about the crystals, the ruby platforms that the dwarves used to help with this. But they haven't quite figured all of that out yet. They got distracted, to be sure, by this idea of summoning demons because they know Cerulean can, they know Sarah can. Can we summon a demon and sacrifice a demon to Cash or Calrear to offer that energy to help upgrade them? So it's not offering life energy of their own, like something of another creature, a summoned creature. And Cerulean talks about how he's out of blood for a humanoid. You guys haven't he used most of it in the last fights. So he needs that to do his summoning spells to summon the different demons, and then um they go to the king, basically, of the Lapids, and along their way there, they get distracted by a couple things, but
Of course.
Eros starts to make plans and connections for talking with others about going across the lands like they've done before with that random teleport spell from Alexander. Their weird kind of kennel mage, I'm going to call him, because you did find him in a kennel. He had a connection to the Dragon Rider area on the other side of the world, and you guys were able to use his connections to create the Dick the Ripper and other things. Nevertheless, there was at least some discussion about that. Sadar chooses not to come with you all, and instead searches for a job. Filling out a resume.
Well, yeah. Hey, you know what? He's on the grind. I respect it.
He's on the grind. And then Strike makes up for some lost time during some of all this and spends some time with his daughter, Althea, and she is on the way to gaining the next, above table levels in Druid. So she is going to a different there's a Lapid Druid here named Mr. Daisy, who basically is going to teach her some of these higher level components and stuff that she needs to use. Nouvelle decides to join Strike and Althea. Nouvelle and Strike get in a duel. Nouvelle's losing. She casts a globe of darkness, and then basically we break away as they kiss, and Strike and lovers. Strike and love with her. There you go. Later that day. This is sometime in those 5 days. You guys go to the High King's Court with these plans you have for defense, including the demon summoning. You stop on the way at one of the High King's Haven is a group of cave systems, basically, in the plains, and there are different sinkholes and little ponds and stuff. You pass by one of these pools, and you find Solus there, basically almost ice skating on top of the water. And there's a small crowd forming around the Genasi, and the Genasi, her eyes are closed, and there's magic gathering around, and underneath her, there's imagery of appearing of the city, of like things you guys would know from your city folk perspective, of the wolf fighting the Tarrasque, this giant wolf thing, with a minotaur, the Tarrasque waking up, the different the case stage course falling through, the different faces of people that are dead or alive, just kind of flashing in these imageries. In this imagery, kind of shocks Solus, and Solus casts a teleport and disappears. And Trillo during this sees another Testudine that you guys have met before, named Nenui, who is one of the walkers of the Testudine people. And there's kind of this weird, like, you don't see very many Testudine is one of the points of this, but like Trillo and Nenui kind of gives him a look of disrespect, more or less. Like, he doesn't respect what Trillo is doing and kind of what he represents, which is he doesn't know what it represents, I guess, is part of the point. Nanui's able to like break away from you all, and while you guys finish conversing and seeing what happens to Solus, and he's waiting at the High King's door to her inner chambers, and like you guys like are offered before him, even though he's like first in line kind of thing, to see the king. Like, the king is kind of tired of Nenui, and there's definitely some complications with the Walkers, who are an organization that the Animaesus loosely employ to serve as police keepers of their people. And Nenui has a lot of power, so to speak. Like, if Nenui really wanted to and had other walkers to come back him, he technically could take Lady Thistle off of the seat as the king, and they could put someone else as king. The walkers have this weird political, limbo that they exist in the Animaesus world. So, nevertheless, Lady Swift Thistle is eager to meet with you all after kind of the different movements that have happened and whatnot. But before any of that can be happening, you guys get to this idea of summoning demons for this purpose, for different purposes. And it takes a little convincing on your guys' part to convince the lady. She seeks counsel from Strenz, and who was another Lapid you guys met earlier on when he first came here. Decently powerful mage. And then Liam was sitting in there, and kind of I rolled for Liam that he basically is like, what else do we have to lose? Like, what other options do we have? Kind of thing. Not fully understanding what they're entailing here. Mostly moving on the narrative in some ways. But nevertheless, they convince her, and they convince her mostly by saying, okay, do you have someone that you already have imprisoned that you want to get rid of, basically? And she orders her guards to go to the brig and, I say brig because I say it all the time on Sunday, the dungeon. She orders her guards to go to the dungeon and, pick one, basically. They bring back a Lapid covered, right? Head covered, doesn't, mumbling. You guys weren't exactly sure of his crimes in any way, shape, or form, but obviously something they thought was worth this in some way, shape, or form. Loosely okay, so he brings him in, and then the queen basically takes over the situation, asks for the sword of the guard that brought him in, and basically accuses the Lapid that has the head cover of treason towards the Lapid people. And the judgment is death. She takes the sword and chops off his head. Even her own people at that point, the few in the room, Strenz and the others, were all just like, okay, that just happened. Okay, what's going on, right? And then presumably you guys go in to gather the blood you need for demonic rituals that you're doing. The queen tries to change the subject, lighten the mood, whatever you want to say it, and kind of talks about how there should be we should plan a celebratory victory. She knows, she has Eros as one of the most famous bards in the lands here, asking if she would basically put on a show. You guys loosely agree to that idea, and that's kind of where we left. No, that's not kind of where we left off. That's where we left off. So
I feel like I need to sidetrack just for 2 seconds. Why do you have to say brig multiple times during your Sunday sessions? What the fuck is going on?
We have some
I feel like you can
prisoners.
fill in the gaps.
We have some prisoners. As a group, it hasn't been decided what to do with them. I mean, my character would opt to remove them, but one of his other characters that he's friends with, an NPC, it's Ganoi Seth, persuaded him to keep them alive so he can extract information, so Icon is not on the killing route. But it hasn't been decided what to do with our prisoners. They don't have jobs.
They're on a pirate ship and they have a big brig.
So this is a recent thing. It's not just something that just gets brought up every single session. Like
recent. Okay.
The last 20 sessions or so.
Okay, so this is a common occurrence that you just have motherfuckers you just throw in the brig. Okay, see, that's what I was getting at.
This
I
is
brig! I thought you were throwing bricks at people.
No.
Well, you could throw bricks
I
at someone
think
in a brig.
this is the fourth go round of people inside your brig, so
yeah.
they've been busy.
Fucking hell.
They've been busy.
Like, it's either you kill them outright, or if they can be ransomed, you ransom them, or extract information and then maybe promise the thought of freedom, but actually executing them, or just be indecisive of how you want to proceed with their fate. One of those four things have happened.
Well, Francis, you missed last session. One of an opportunity that they could have broken out of, but they did not.
Oh, they didn't break out. Okay, good. Because if they broke out,
well, it was one of those things where I told them towards the end of the session is just like, okay, you all by happenstance chose to actually come back to the ship. I did not expect this. So hey, roll initiative.
Maybe it would have been good for them to break out, because then we could justify killing them. But I don't know.
You have them pretty well bound, and Lady Sasha, by messing with one guy's sanity score pretty well by constantly reading a book, she's basically like allied with him.
See, so, this is why we don't take prisoners in our campaign.
Well, hey,
you
it worked
guys are pretty
out.
good at torturing in this campaign, though. To be sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
like we don't torture. We just we imprison, and we either let you go and you
That's-
join us, or we just kill you.
Listen, Sark doesn't have time for that shit. Okay, it's not interesting. He's done it enough.
No.
We don't send people to jail. We just give them these hands. They either live or they die. That's it.
Are we on the same map? Okay, we're all on the same map. All right. Well,
Sark. is
then
not-
today's session is a chunk of time. That's gonna go by similar to last time. But I want to speak briefly to the two that were absent last time. Is there anything Sarek or Liam would like to establish as part of their downtime, I guess, for things that happened last session? For that 5 days of time, basically, that happened last session?
I didn't know I had council member rights. That's some big shoes to fill.
Hey, narrative just flowed that way.
I think you
all
know.
right.
Sark's got a list. He's got a list.
All right. Then I guess my Ministry of Dispense spiel would be canonized in the 5 days, as what Liam would explain for the purpose of defense. But it's hard to say because again, Liam did not expect to fight in a full-on war like a mercenary. But if there's anything I could do within the 5 days, from the various collecting of bodies, there were those shrubs. Oh, that was actually just regular like foraging. So yeah, I did not loot these. I looted these from the earth, not from people. But the Ellen shrub, the healer's boon. I want to make healing potions and paralysis bombs, as you mentioned way back when, or at least work with someone who has expertise in this than me. I'm proficient, but proficiency compared to a lot of other things is not that high.
You need a shrubbery.
A shrubbery.
That's what
No, I have
getting,
shrubbery. I just need the expertise.
A shrub. You require a shrubbery. At least, I like that one. You require a second shrubbery.
But I will imagine Liam would be pretty sad that Solus left. Probably say along the lines of, she didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. But yeah, I'd say that's what would be in the 5 days. Making stuff, being a council member, and yeah.
Okay, what? You said Ellen Shrub and what?
Ellen Shrub, as you called it, I have 3 of those, and I have 3 healers. Boo. No, that's the name of the stuff. Sorry. So I have 3 types of plants. I have a cattail plant with a red leaf. I have some berries and the Ellen Shrub. But the Ellen Shrub, you said 3 of those can be used to make a healing potion, or a paralysis bomb, or a fire bomb. Then you said 3 of the healer's boons can be used to make a potion. Dang, I didn't take that well. Good notes. The only thing I also have here is 4 bundles would yield a supreme potion. I guess I didn't explore much of the stuff.
You guys take notes?
4 bundles of what?
You said 4 bundles because you described what I got as bundles.
Yes.
Rather than. So 4 bundles of any combination would yield a supreme potion.
Yes. Okay.
So let's make 1 supreme potion and a paralysis bomb, since I think I have enough to make both of those.
Paralysis bomb. Okay. It's a fire bomb or a paralysis poison.
Ah, poison. Thank you.
I was about to say, how does a paralysis bomb work?
Yeah. But nevertheless, you still want to make the poison?
The poison and the potion, yes.
You just see an image of Medusa flash out of this fucking ball. Scares the shit out of you and you don't move.
So a supreme is it's one of the big ones.
I think
That's
it's
a big boy.
the biggest one.
Supreme The Supreme is the biggest one.
Oh, that's a really big boy.
Slap that Supreme label on there.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
man.
Well,
Slap that big boy. Slap it real good. Make them cheeks jiggle. Oh yeah. Holy.
I'm putting you in a box.
I
I gotta put you in a box. It's not personal.
Put you
Okay. So
I'm gonna go with the box.
So
So, I'm looking up one more thing. Okay. So if you use most of it to make the healing, how much do you have left for the paralysis?
would have 2 left for paralysis.
Okay. All right. You're an alchemist, yes?
Well, I have proficiency in herbalism. I have jack of all trades in alchemy.
well,
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. To be sure. Okay. I would like you to roll me an intelligence-based alchemy check to figure out how much time it'll take.
it's gonna
You're welcome.
take a lot of time.
Okay. It'll take a long time. Okay.
But wait, if it's a poison, would it be a poisoner's kit?
You could do that. You could argue that, yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense. You still need the
This is
alchemist.
oddly
You still need the alchemist supply for the potion, though. For the poison, yeah.
could be argued the herbalism for healing.
I believe that's the kit that's used to make healing potions. I think you can make it herbalism.
Let's see.
In Xanathars, you can use herbalism for a healing potion.
Herbalism kit. Yeah, to create remedies and potions. Yeah. In the herbalism kit, that's what it says.
Do you want me to
You
roll
can make
herbalism
essential
set,
oil potions.
or is the alchemist?
No, you're not rolling to make it yet. You're rolling to see how long it
to
takes.
know. Right.
To know.
Yeah.
Because we've never done this in game before. Okay. The poison's easy. You got that. You got like 3 days. You will need to
That is the excerpt from the herbalist
total
kit.
value, but okay. So how many? You have 2 of those things that you're adding towards the poison.
Yes.
All right, and those are. I think
Ellen shrubs.
they cost the same. Okay. It will cost you you can roll your check will reduce this cost towards this to actually do it. But it's going to cost you about 80 gold to finish the poison.
What kind of check would you need?
A poisoner's kit check
Ooh.
with wisdom or dexterity as you craft it to basically reduce the time in my mind and also reduce the cost. Like, how effective are you about using the resources?
With dexterity. Okay. Damn.
Ah.
I think an inspiration would be fitting. I'd hate to lose this poison,
Oh!
as all things should be.
Those were 2 very different reactions. I didn't even have to look up. Uh, Like I was pretty sure by those three reactions what happened.
Perfectly
All right,
valid.
very
As all
valid.
things should be.
All right, that is excellent. So let me do some math. Um,
He was about to like mix it in one particular way. Then he saw the future. Was like, wait, no, not like that, like this. He saw everything going wrong with one flick of the wrist.
They decided to go the other way. Either wonderful tea or deadly
Okay.
poison. I want the poison.
This will take you 2 days or so. The time isn't as effective as the cost decrease for getting a nat 20. This will cost you 20 gold to make this poison. And it is a rank 2. There's up to rank 4.
Mhm.
It is a rank 2 paralysis poison, which I'm scrolling to tell you what that means.
Can you imagine that you're trying to poison somebody and you make the poison, and you add it into their drink, and then they drink it and they're like, "Ooh, this is the most tastiest thing I've ever had," and they don't die, and you're just like, "What the fuck happened?"
How do you fuck up poison?
The rank
And then you
2
become a millionaire.
is the rank 2 is
How do you try to kill someone only to make the tastiest drink
yeah.
ever?
Does it?
You make millions from it, so you still won.
Fuck
Okay,
it.
so rank 2 basically is the potency increase of it. So
Make your millions, hire someone else to kill the
okay,
fucking person.
duration.
Good point.
Like, I suck at this killing thing. Someone,
All right, so you have, if I'm understanding my brain correctly, you have a paralysis poison that if they is it ingestible?
well,
Doesn't say. In creative poison, the character must choose the poison type. Is it contact, ingested, inhaled, or injury?
Hmm. I think injury.
Makes
Whoa.
sense. All right,
if
so
Yeah.
if-
Unless are we? Well, we're not going to be doing any political intrigue. This is just straight up war, right, guys?
yes,
We're not
this
like.
is war.
Okay, yeah, injury.
injury. Okay, makes
The only
sense.
intrigue that's going to be happening is us
Somebody call
lying to
Forward Shield.
people.
This
No,
is actually a lot stronger than I thought it was going to be.
If-
That's okay. The DC is relatively low, but considering its
Half the
paralysis,
fentanyl.
yeah, it's good. Considering how long it can last, that's good. All right,
Go
so
gadget car fentanyl.
it's a DC 13 save that they have to do, Constitution save, to try to resist the poison. However, if they do not resist the poison, they are paralyzed for 10 minutes.
Jesus, mother of fuck.
Ooh.
Holy shit.
And
Damn.
there's no save. It just lasts.
Holy
save.
shit.
And the creature fails a check is considered poison for the duration of the poison.
Mm.
Right.
That fucks.
So that's one other. Oh wait, no. If the poison imposes any other effect or condition. Okay, at the end of each of their turns. Okay, they can.
Aww.
But still,
Let's
it's
just wait then.
paralysis.
But
The scariest condition in this game, in my opinion. Very few things have.
And we can confirm.
I think
Now, in order to, you could, if you gather more, attempt to check on this poison to try to increase its potency, but it may destroy the poison. In the process. The potion is a different story. You're making a supreme, good sir.
Mm-hmm.
A supreme is a very rare item. So
I welcome any aid the village can offer, or a very wise Testidine.
I can give you a bardic inspiration. That's it.
You know what? I'll take it because I can't give it myself. And I will give you a bardic inspiration in exchange.
Neat. Well, mine's a D8. I don't know what yours is.
Mine's a
Now
D8.
that
Okay.
is the law of equivalent exchange.
Listen, you also
And-
have a Lord of Drugs wizard, so
But did you
And-
specialize in medicine, wizard?
he doesn't know shit. Actually, no, I'm kidding. No, he does. He's like a biologist. But
Yeah, he's
Rule of
died
drugs
so
should
many
be a whole
times.
subclass.
He's died so many times. He just knows. He just knows.
yeah, I know. I know what's going on in there. I've seen it.
And my inspiration is unfailing, so if you fuck up, you can still keep it.
Okay. With your check from
That's
earlier, with the 5, you know, at base, this is you're trying to do something very, very complicated, right? The good news is you have a decent amount of reagents towards this to assist. I need an alchemy check or herbalism check, I guess. Herbalism makes sense. Herbalism check, I think wisdom or dexterity based makes sense.
Ooh, dexterity. All right, dexterity. Eros had contributed bardic inspiration, and did Sarek, the totally sane, contribute anything? I forget, or
Advantage,
knowledge.
maybe.
Do you ask him?
Yeah.
Okay. Just sure. Yeah. Okay. Can I don't know. Can I just help him? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, just give him
What can I
advantage.
do? Yeah, I'll help him. Yeah, no, this'll fuck somebody up. Yeah, I've done that to myself
Okay.
before.
And to be clear about this idea, most of the time with crafting, you don't have to roll a check. The check just helps you. It doesn't usually hurt you. Just helps you. You just didn't roll high enough to understand how much time you have to invest in this. This is a very like you're trying to brew something that's needs to be very, very potent. So
All right, let's make some drugs.
Gotta
Almost,
hella
but I have a
concentrate
D8 on top of that.
Hella concentrate that shit.
That'd be a good old 32 to make some healing drugs.
Yeah.
you just get a 30 fucking.
You make some health pipes.
Drugs.
These guys are
Hey,
fucked up. I don't know what they're doing. This is messed up. I'm just a wizard, man. I don't know what the fuck is up with these guys.
I had a friend
Weird shit going
that
on.
looked exactly like that GIF in high school. Minus the beard, but okay. Brain.
Also, the nerd in me is just saying, well, you made a venom, not really a poison since you have to inject it, but whatever.
Technically, everything's a poison.
I mean, yeah, it's just the manner.
It's just the dosage.
Well,
That's it. Everything's a poison. It's just dosage.
well, yeah,
Water's a poison if you have too much
Even
of it.
water can be poisonous if you ingest enough of it.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
yeah.
How many of these do you have left? 4?
After this, yeah, because it was 4 to even make
okay.
it, so I'd be tapped out.
Even weed, but the amount of weed you'd have to smoke is so insanely high. You'd just
You're
pass
more
out.
likely to get water poisoning than weed poisoning.
You'd pass out from and just take a
The
nap.
interactions it has with your system, it's just like you're gonna have more trouble. Like whatever the way you're ingesting it is gonna fuck up before the weed fucks you up. Like
Yeah, you'll never overdose on the weed itself. It's going to be whatever method
You're going to
using.
reach the point you can't even fill a bong or roll a joint anymore.
You're
well,
just
yeah,
gonna
no,
pass out.
you'll go basically catatonic before you actually.
Yeah,
Let's put it this. For I was half listening to what you guys were saying, and then my brain caught up to what you were saying as a the things in D&D that come up. Nevertheless, you get through these 5 days, and you definitely are making progress, to be sure. But you are less than halfway done.
5 more days.
Ish. You're pretty sure. And it will cost you. That's one of the other reasons why I laughed as you guys were talking about weed, and then my math turned out it's going to cost you 420 gold to finish the potion.
Well, I got platinum.
So,
Nice.
like,
Take those.
I don't know how the math worked that way, but like,
Beautiful. Hey,
Beautiful. We
sometimes
take
the
those.
universe is just here for you.
I know. It's just like, all right. So, well, you use 2 of those days to make the poison. So,
Right.
yeah. So you get through 3 of the days, and you're like a third the way done, and you're like, ish. Before you think it just needs a long time to like steep and brew and like really like absorb the essence of these Ellen fronds to really be effective. You do believe if you it would be a waste of resources, I guess, in the simplest explanation. But you do believe if you stopped now, you would have the equivalent of basically a basic healing potion. But you would waste like the other 3. It wouldn't have had time to absorb everything. So
Yeah, nah.
so for future, like if you need to stop it or whatever,
Oh,
like
yeah.
for future reference for other kind of crafting, kind of things. All right, so Leon makes a poison and starts to make a potion. That's a good chunk of your time to invest towards those things. In probably some little hovel underground somewhere. That's way too small for you, like honestly.
Cook.
It's time.
So yeah, Liam has officially become the Walter White. So
It's cooking time.
he's cooking.
Mr. White.
I don't know, a paralysis poison. What else is that?
Mr. White. Yeah, that's science. Science, Mr. White.
Science, bitch.
Science, bitch.
Science bitch. All right.
Somebody call Saul Goodman.
I got my list. You know what's up.
I was double checking your list. Um,
He's making a list.
Nice.
He's checking it once.
So I would put
Checking it
sort of.
twice.
There's a lot
Like,
on there. There's
there is
a lot on there, and a lot of it's
Like, the things
rambling.
that would make the most sense to me are the ones associated with the Lapids,
Yeah.
with stuff that's already happened.
So I think that the most important things that he would try to get to is the just like it depends on what resources he is given. First of all, what does he have access to, resource wise? Like gemstones.
Fucking
Like, are you asking the king?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
okay.
what I was like. Oh, we'll
like
give you
I guess the from my perspective and also the king's perspective, like what specifically are you looking for?
Expensive ass gemstones.
Expensive as gemstones.
Yeah, like 1,000 GP or more. If they don't have it, then that's fine.
Let me
That's
look
cool.
at
This is not even for me. This is to defend the village. So, like, I mean, defend the city.
Everything's a village
If they don't got,
you don't think about it.
if they don't got, that's okay. It's not on me.
all right, give me
Also, after like 2 months after I got this, 3 months after I got this fucking sword, I'm gonna cast Legend Lore on it now.
and I gotta remember what.
I know. I get up time.
Can you remind me where you got the centaur from?
I got the scimitar from my lab.
Oh, from your lab.
All the
Oh,
way back, yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's I think do I still have that paper? Let's see.
I think I think I just uploaded that one too. That episode. Yeah, I did.
I found this old knife in my lab. I just want to use it, man.
Just,
Why would you put a knife in your dog?
What?
All
I don't
Said
know.
you had this
I
old
know.
knife in your lab.
right.
Why would you
Well,
do
I have Malamutes.
Ah.
They're fluffy. I like them.
I like all dogs.
I like the tails and the
Yeah.
faces.
I just like that they can scream at people.
Well,
It's funny. I'm trying to teach them how to talk.
No, I don't think dogs can talk without magic.
Yeah, I know. I'm inserting immature brain organoids into their cerebral cavity.
That sounds like bullshit, but I don't understand, so whatever.
No, it's a thing.
If you say so.
So basically, I stimulate some stem cells of human brain cells from corpses, and
What?
then
what's
what?
stem
What the
cell?
fuck is a stem cell?
Oh,
Huh?
wait. I know, a stem from a plant. Wait, there are plants in our
It's kind of like
brains?
that, I
Wait,
guess. I
why
don't
would
know.
you put a plant in someone's brain?
So, fuck. He takes a huge drag of a big fucking like 12 cigarette bundle. Ugh.
Holy shit, I'm actually agreeing with
Was-
Liam for once.
What?
That's weird.
You guys want to get high and talk about some shit?
What are we talking about?
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I'm not
So the
good.
paper I wrote that on, I don't think I have it anymore. So,
Aw.
God damn.
yes, there was a papers that I had stacked, and then my like that's weeks ago, right? Weeks and weeks ago. And then there was a stack of papers next to my desk, like 2 weeks ago, that my cat peed on because she was really sick.
Aw.
And I threw all those and I think it was in the stack of papers.
Damn.
But they had bloody pee on them, so not necessarily. So I'm
It's
going
fucked
to.
up, but it's so funny.
It is fucked up, but it is, yeah. The way the world works. So I
Time to
vaguely
make
remember
shit-
what this was.
Time to make shit up.
Vaguely. So we're gonna go to.
I mean, I don't need a reason to get high. I'm just curious.
uh,
Although, it is still sad that I can't take a rip off of Birdman's dick anymore.
oh, it's probably dirt weed. Whatever.
I'm sorry. No, Birdman had the best fucking dealer in the whole
You got. Oh,
goddamn city.
I got blue sand. I got halfling weed. I got a bane. I got fey dust. I got Zolville powder, fun powder, purified stardust.
Yeah,
I'm trying to pay this.
we had all that shit too. I'm telling you.
Oh, you didn't
Birdman's
fucking have
dealer.
purified. You'd be dead if you had very purified stardust. I don't
You
know.
have
What the
no-
fuck do any of those do? Tell me. No, I want you to tell me what any of those do.
Why
Fuck
would
you
I?
up?
Exactly. We just smoked it. We didn't give a shit.
That's what I thought, yeah. Uncultured swine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He just does a line of like something that looks like it's just ashes that are on fire. Fuck.
Well, hey, you mentioned Fey Dust. I want that Fey Dust.
You
I want to
fade us?
critique it. Yeah, I
Oh,
want to
that's good.
critique it.
okay, I'm gonna roll it.
I'm sorry. I just want to enjoy my weed and not critique it. As long as it's good weed, I don't give a shit.
How productive?
Not at all.
Okay,
Well,
so
uh,
Liam, do you want to be productive?
You got any hybrids?
No. Fey dust is dust. Like this is. That's not all weed, man. I have some weed. I stick to halfling shit. That's good stuff.
Okay.
That's good for blends.
Then in that instance, yeah. I want to be jumping off the walls, as the saying goes.
Yeah, Fey dust. Here.
You got
give
any,
you a baggie of white powder.
Do you got any Storm Giant blend?
Storm giant blend?
Yeah, that's the literal name of the exact herb, the exact weed, the mixture.
Nah, I stick to more of like a. There's a specific blend that I sort of do. I call it Taste the Rainbow.
Hmm, I feel like I've heard something similar, but
Yeah,
probably not the
so
same context.
you get hell grass from Phlegethos. There's actually you got something from the Sorrow Mines and one of the fucking eighth layer. It's Cania. It's fucked up, man.
No. The Taste the Rainbow I'm thinking of comes from like this gnome city somewhere in like the fucking northeast that they
Oh no,
that is
mine makes you experience every emotion at once,
theirs makes brothel parties a lot more fun.
simultaneous, including the feeling of abject sorrow of a giant.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, no, I don't do that one that much anymore. Like, that was a phase. That was a phase, man.
I mean, I specifically like the idea of the sorrow of a dead race of giants.
Yeah, yeah, it's fucked up, man. It's fucked
I
up.
guess. I mean, if they're dead, they probably weren't that impressive to begin with.
Hey, so sometimes when I start, just have a few things, I start to get a little philosophical, man. What do you?
Okay.
Hmm.
I would like Sarah to roll me a luck. No, not a luck. Roll me a d10.
Okay.
Fill a sock full of butter.
Yeah, I do that.
That's
my main weapon.
Why get philosophical when you can just fill a sock full of butter?
I will say, as you guys already say, Liam was just putting his entire face in that bag of fey dust.
It's basically Adderall.
Yeah.
It's Adderall. Yeah.
Perfect.
I
That
can
is
smell the
down on the time
cosmos!
It's magic Adderall. It also like raises your IQ. You have to
So
do
I'm not
increasingly trivial
sure. I'm
tasks.
not sure what it was before. Can't really remember off the top of my head, but this is what it is now.
Improvising. The key to DM.
Okay, improvisation. I love it. All right. So you want to do legend lore on it?
Gotta write that down.
That's what you said. That's what you said was
Okay.
the right thing to do.
Yeah, makes sense.
It costs extra
Yeah.
money. I'm being thorough.
Is that being very thorough indeed. All right. Yeah, go for it. Post the thingy so I can remember what it does.
Legend lore. I know everything about you, motherfucker. Everything.
In the beginning, there was
Ying.
the cube.
In the beginning. there
No,
was
no,
a
not on
cube.
tomorrow's.
And
Stop.
and then there was the Matrix. And then there was the
And then
dinosaur.
there was the Matrix 2. And then there was the Matrix 3. And then there was the reboot, Matrix 4.
That was why do we keep making more Matrix movies? It's done. Stop it,
Because
please.
yes,
That's right. It can be poetry. I love it.
I feel that.
Okay.
That explanation.
Gnomes are not from this continent.
Yeah.
They came across the Great Sea somewhere in the last 5 centuries. They Orcafor was a gnome. Um, he was a gnome that was born on this continent. As the forest gnomes were. This sword was something that was given to him. The scimitar was given to him by one of the high-ranking members of Drone to the northeast of here. It's the only actual like other city on this continent. Pretty much everything else is like at best a large town. Drone is the city of dragons. It was established by Dragonborn over 1,000 years ago. And they welcome Dragonborn and any Dragonkin that can prove themselves loyal, worthy to the cause. Kind of thing. When dragons die, there's very few places that they go to rest that's known to people, because of how, what's the word, useful their body parts can be to people in magic, because they are some of the strongest magical creatures. You generally get the impression that there was a dragon that lived in the city for a while, and that this sword was crafted from that dragon's essence. Um, you're not sure how old this sword is or how old the dragon was, like beyond your counting, and you've lived a long time. Orgavor's only had in his possession like 100 years or so. Um, you don't know exactly why he got it. It is, what's the word? The word slumbering comes to your mind. Like it's not
Ah, I
awakened.
see.
Huh.
Yeah,
Sleepy. I got a
it's a
sleepy blade.
um
What kind of
so
dragon is it? You say
you are
amethyst.
pretty sure this is a brass dragon.
Okay.
Um and the sword in and of itself right now is an uncommon magic item.
Anything other
um
than brass. God damn.
mm,
Ah, fuck.
Oh, you got a problem with brass,
Higher
my friend?
damage.
yeah, that's true. Um
It's fun. It's metallic. Those are cool.
and well, uh so you oh, my brain. This would mean we can do some of those cool things. Okay, so this item evolves. All items can, but this one specifically evolves to be stronger than it is in the simplest terms. Right. So as of right now, when you hit a nat 20, you gain an extra 5 fire damage. As of right now.
Sweet. I got it.
Oh wait, no, it's each creature of your choice within 5 feet of the target takes 5 damage of that.
I'll use this
Yeah.
after it gets evolved twice.
Yes. Kind of thing. And that's the way Cookie Crumbles.
Man, Orcafor got this fucking old ass thing. I gotta sharpen this shit. Damn.
Wait, you're gonna use a sword?
Eventually. Why, do you think I'm gonna be useless?
You literally cast spells.
Yeah, but what if I can't?
The rest of us are nearby?
No, 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 no. If I want to do a cool duel with someone, I'm gonna do a cool duel with someone.
You want a dual strike? I don't think that would go well.
I'll do that. Yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah. These are just like, yeah, dude. I'm
Is
ready.
Drake even there right now, or is he still over there?
I feel like sometimes it's just us
Is
talking
this
as
sort
if
of a
we're in
name, or can I
camp.
name it?
You can name it.
Cool. All right. It's a brass one. Okay.
Okay. Now I would like to speak, since this is brought up now, anyways. Any item, I'm fine with it evolving. Some are just written that way. But it kind of depends on some discussions about how that works. For things, if you would like to do it, I have ways that we can discuss how it works. We've done that in previous campaigns before with certain items, like the Throngler and the
Oh
Snowdancer,
yeah.
It's true.
which which I need to.
Okay, but to be fair, we used ancient powerful magic to make that shit happen.
Yeah, that's
And the
true.
wish spell.
Yeah, ancient
That's
powerful
very
magic.
Yeah.
That's true. But I'm also saying that, yeah, there's other ways to do it beyond that. Like, yeah, that was an ancient wish spell. True. But you guys, I don't know. You guys do you.
Like, could I make my armor evolve, like my jacket or my shadow silk outfit evolve?
Can I make my claws evolve?
Seth, we gotta talk about Farwin's old ass Sunblade then.
Oh
Old ass
god,
Sunblade.
Oh god.
fucking Sith.
Evolution. Yeah, they all
doesn't
can.
you
So
can't
it's like
force it.
I have different rules loosely for that in my Google Doc, but I also use things that are in this other doc I use too. But nevertheless, um, if it's attunement, it requires a narrative thing for it to happen. It needs to be discussion of something narrative that has gone on to qualify the evolution. So even with Nova's new weapon here, to get it evolved, it's mostly a narrative thing. Like something needs to happen that makes sense why it gains that power, kind of thing. So it needs to be something you're actively kind of working towards, I think, in that way as part of the story. If it's not attunement, then it's just a chunk of gold you throw at it.
Ah,
So,
So
can you infuse natural weapons with something like the effect of flame tongue in any way?
is it attuned?
Natural weapons are not attuned, no.
Uh,
But if it were to gain the effect of an attuned item, then I suppose.
then if it's gaining the effect of a attuned item, then it's a narrative thing. If it's gaining the effect of a non-attuned item, then it's, if it's just a basic plus or something like that, then we can just, throw some gold at it, and that's fine, as far as I'm concerned. For things, but
so,
You need to keep that in mind for future
you
builds.
know, the
so
it
just
depends on the properties and things like that too, of like what you're trying to add to it. In some ways, like as far as I'm concerned, which I have some, basic, and in the simplest terms, an uncommon property is a +1 attack and damage roll. So if something's equivalent to that, then it's probably not going to involve too many of those things of like, attunement and whatnot. But if it's something that's, a little more in depth than that, like, I don't know,
So what would need to happen to get flaming claws?
resistance. Sounds like a narrative thing to me.
Yeah, but what kind of narrative thing?
I don't know.
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
figure that out.
You can't force it, dude. It's not all mechanics, man.
I don't know. Like off the top of my head, I don't know. Like of what that
It's
would be.
vibes, man. It's all about the vibes, man.
You've got a point. It's all about the vibes. It's true.
Oh,
But like, if we were now speaking of Fawin and or Killian, right? From what recently happened with the Tarask, like that could be an argument towards something because of what happened with that creature. Like, Francis brings up his Sunblade. I think we could possibly discuss like the idea of, okay, you literally you used magic for the killing blow, but nevertheless, like your attacks were definitely part of that.
Dreamed it
So
out of existence.
so there is something that we can discuss those things. Sure.
Yeah. I was just
Um,
thinking, like, if an item that you tune to evolves with you based off of your character actions over a period of time, I'm curious as to what kind of story it imparts.
I'm just saying.
Like,
Maybe as when you hit developmental moments in your character arc.
Yeah.
How it goes.
Other than that, like some like bonuses and stuff that I've played around with before of things you can think on is like some sort of nobility increase, an AC increase. You get charges that let you do something. Damage increase, like what Strike is talking about, is definitely on the idea there. Damage reduction, maybe it emanates light. Maybe it allows you to cast a spell, probably nothing higher than a level 2, maybe a level 3 spell at most, like at will, kind of thing.
A
It's
Fronder, which can use fly.
it's the weapon returns to your hand, kind of thing.
So
You
the
know,
Send
so
you
base,
my
it
insane
gives you a skill of some sort.
minor weapon properties.
so
Say again?
base,
Do you want me to send you my insanely long Google Doc full of minor magical properties for items?
Why not?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
so
I'll look at it.
so basically, just to break it down for my
There's-
autistic ass, it's your you're phrasing it as evolving, but if you just have to throw gold at it, it's basically just like normal upgrading as we've always had. And
More or less.
if it's something that's a lot more hyper specific and not a generalized thing, then it's narrative focus.
Yes. And I usually make the distinction that if it's in an item you're already attuned to, or it's giving you something like an attunement item, then I'm gonna make it a narrative thing and be like, the money isn't as important to that idea. Like it may
Yeah.
still cost you some gold to like do something, depending on what it is, but
But let's say for instance, as just a hypothetical, Eros constantly she's been wearing her jacket since basically day fucking one of the campaign, especially because of that rat gank squad type shit.
Let me turn
And
into
true.
and as well as her Shadow's silk dress outfit. And because of just the way that I've had her level up in Soul Knife, that the more levels she gains, like narratively in my mind, there's more of that soul magic that arcs off of her body whenever she does things.
She gets
So
sillier.
like well, no, since she's the same
still
since
learns
day
as well.
one. She's been
Learns as
the
well.
same since day one.
Hmm.
She hasn't changed. But like the magic that arcs off of her body when she does things, like that would be a possible narrative justification for her armor to gain some new benefit. And again, just hypothetically speaking.
Yeah, I think I would like some a little more specifics behind that idea. But yeah,
I mean,
We'll
yeah,
fix it in post.
there would need to be more specifics, but it's just kind of like the general idea. Okay, here's an item, even if it's not a tune, but it's an item that you've used for fucking ever, and you have and you constantly cast magic while wearing
yeah.
it. So
It could also be something connected to Mistra too. Is where my brain started to think about that idea is like the inadvertent things that start to benefit you. I don't know, or things like that.
yeah.
Like some other, some narrative ideas. If you want to start thinking about these things in some ways, if some sort of sacrifice, some sort of giant enemy that you defeated, a deity's involvement in some way, shape, or form, going to a sacred place and using the essence of the sacred place to assist you in some way, shape, or form. Um, the argument could also be, "Hey, I've killed 100 dwarves, so can I now grow a beard?" I'd be like, "Yeah, sure." Uh,
I've killed them and stolen their power.
so,
I've
I
stolen
killed
the
them
power
and
of
scalped them
dwarves.
and put their scalps in my
Wait, wait, wait.
collection.
Better,
And
my
even
better
further,
question.
get a
achievements.
permanent
When
belt
you
of
kill
Vorkon.
5,000 dwarves, you just grow a beard.
Better question. Better
I've
question.
killed
If
5,000 dwarves.
if I have Cash kill 100 dwarves, does he get to grow a beard?
Why not? um, that's funny. Uh, there, there are also like I was also when I was thinking about this the other day. I'm open to the idea of like you guys like hey, this is my plan for what this looks like, and we start to like this is the end goal for the item of what I want it to be, and this is where we're at now, and here are the steps that kind of go to that idea. That could work too.
Can I do my little tasks?
What?
My little tasks, because I just cast a single spell.
Yes.
Yeah. But I don't. There's two things I'm probably just gonna focus on. First of all, how many gemstones are they built? Like, do they have that they would be like
I got
filling
sidetracked
up?
with crafting.
Yeah, we had a lot going on. We had a mysterious sword and such. I called it the Gallus Kopesh.
The Gallus Copehead?
Kopesh.
Kopish.
Kopesh.
Ooh, Kopish.
There's actually a Kopesh stat block if
Ooh.
you want.
Please, yes. I want this to be a Kopesh.
It's not very much different than a centaur, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
It's just I want to be. It's a little cool.
Kopeshes are badass. I have one that I bought at a run fair years ago.
I want one of those.
My brain. Where is that page? All right.
Deep within thyself is an ulcer. You should probably get that checked out. Like, seriously, go to a doctor.
So it's setting up defenses basically. Um. And then just randomly, I would say probably like randomly hanging out with people. Like Zerk just is going to show up at random times, and just kind of like just be like just smoking something, or just be like, "Hey, what's up?" Just while people are doing things. He's trying to socialize.
Don't you want to
And
do anything with the dwarvian?
oh yeah, no, I'm gonna do that. But like, I got these are small things.
Okay.
I'm gonna have enough time. My two like the bulk of my time is going to be spent on two things: Dwarvian and creating a spell.
Ooh.
I'll split it kind of evenly there if I can, because it does not take long for me to summon elementals. It would just be the entire process would just be like an hour for each. So yeah, I mean it's just a little while. The spell I'm trying to make, by the way, is just really, really fucked up. But oh man, there's worse ones I could have tried for.
And make someone talk out their butt and poop out their mouth.
Man, I have so much research I need
You watch too
to
much
do. This,
South Park.
I need.
Men
I need.
butts crack. Liquefy bones.
It's like the.
I was
Oh, I don't even
fuckable
want to talk
before!
about that. I don't even want to talk. Oh my god. Has anyone here? Okay. So there's a thing that I do in my group, my in-person group, where if anyone wants to DM, if anyone in the group wants to start DMing, we force them to run the official D&D Rick and Morty dungeon to break them. To break them.
I'm sorry, the what?
It is I believe the worst thing that has ever been made, and it actively makes you a worse D&D player. I brought this up because there is a trap in there that steals your butt.
Worse than Tomb of Horror.
It just steals your ass, and nothing else.
Like, are you a conehead and don't have an ass anymore?
It's
Like,
just no, it's just nothing, no cheeks.
It's just
It's
flat.
gone.
It's just flat.
Just flat.
You just
Alright.
hit off of that?
It's just flat and there's a hole. That's it.
Yeah,
I mean,
Like,
you
do
gotta-
you keep
you gotta-
the hole? Do you keep the hole?
you have
Good
to keep the hole.
stain on
Good.
chairs. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah. No, there's also lycanthropicals, and that was pretty important. To
Like
every-
Canthro pickles.
Yeah,
A phrase I'm never gonna forget. No.
I need-
it eventually
I need a
became
drink.
basically every time, every session of that at this point has become a speed run to the lycanthropicals. Because everyone wants to become a lycanthropical.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't
You'll
you?
ever
I
see.
guess. God, I'm gonna have a fucking seizure. I can't.
You see, you say this is a bad thing, but this sounds hilariously fun.
We only do this when we're delirious. It's the furthest we have
So the
gotten
best way
was
to
the
that
most
seems
recent
like the
one.
best way to run that.
We have never finished it. We have
I'm not
never
surprised.
finished it. Yeah. It is more painful than going through the Tomb of Horrors. It is. I've gone through the Tomb of Horrors. I survived. I've not survived the Rick and Morty dungeon.
You know me.
Oh goodness gracious! All right. Well, let's get.
It just doesn't sound too bad to me. But I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
I'm going insane, man.
I felt the same.
Okay.
Oh, dude, no, sorry,
Um,
sane. I'm not sane.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, dude. I'm
as
playing some candy.
I mentioned a few moments ago, like other than the city of salts and Drone, most of these places, even the High King's Haven, are like they're not really cities. They like to call themselves cities, but they're not really cities. There's just not enough people there. So narratively, like I think the king queen is give me a couple days to figure out what's going on with that idea, and then uh she's able to pinpoint and get a hold of. There's not really like a treasury in the same capacity. I think it's important to note at this point as well, the Animaesus, the idea of money to them is like as old as the city of salt. Like coin and stuff is something that they didn't really think of in the same capacity for years and years and years. Um,
So they're very scammable.
yeah, in some ways, like they barter more than anything, like which I imagine is part of the process of why this takes a few days to kind of get a hold of. Is she's able to get a hold of 3 gems that are of that quality, I guess.
Sweet, okay. Hey, we're gonna get you, Knight. We're gonna protect this place. You guys like burrowing, right?
She nods.
Yeah, okay, I'll get you some earth elementals. Yeah,
Cool.
Alright.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use I feel like it's fair for me to use 2 of them and then keep one for myself. Because I'm not I don't ask for much. I just want one from me. This one's for me. For later. But I'm gonna
You
use
already have
2
a
of these.
demon.
What if he dies? I gotta bring him back and bind him once more. What if I want a bigger demon? What then?
And you
Uh,
make a bigger demon.
it's harder than you think. Harder than you think. So I'm gonna here. I'll give you the specifics on that in a second. But what I'm gonna do is that's like that's the little resource thing I'm gonna do. What do you want me to roll for? I'm putting like a lot of my effort into trying to like figure out how to properly set up the Dwarvian and like learn the ritual. And the other half of my time, if I can, I would like to create the consume mind spell.
Mind crunch?
Are
you gonna mind crush people?
What?
Look, I know
I
what that
just
spell is. God damn.
I feel like save a lot of time on interrogating people if I could just eat the brain of an officer.
What the fuck?
You're going to create an
I
elephant spell.
forget. It's a spell he showed me. I don't know where it comes from, but
It's in
What's
Grim
what's
Hollow.
call it? Grim. Yeah.
Yeah.
you consume. It's in Grim Hollow. Yeah, you consume the brain of another creature's corpse, gaining its memories and knowledge. The corpse must have a brain and can't be undead. The spell fails if the corpse has been dead and not preserved for more than 3 days. Till the spell ends, you can attempt to recall any important fact known to the creature: family history, recent events, building layout, passwords, details of the creature's death, and similar information. To recall a piece of information, you must make an ability check using your spellcasting modifier. The DC is equal to the corpse's intelligence score. Well, that's not really fair. Once the casters roll. I love it. Okay.
That's like feeble mind on crack.
It is, well, sort of.
No, well, okay.
It's not as
technically,
powerful
I
as
don't do
Feeble Mind.
shit to anyone. Like, I have
No,
to
you
kill
don't.
someone to use this. This is not a
Yeah.
combat thing. It's just like
No, it's not.
I don't need to keep people alive for interrogation anymore.
I was gonna say,
You
I
make the
like
fucking
how
mind.
there are many spells in the Grim Hollow that give you contamination. You think
This is-
something like this would do that?
It's just cannibalism. That's whatever.
Are you
Yeah.
sure? Does it protect you from prion disease though?
I don't.
Also,
my,
Seth,
I don't.
Seth,
I don't have a functioning brain already.
I like to mention that my snake was pretty much doing this to people without the spell, but it is a cleric spell, so I like to retroactively give this to him.
I just really think, this is good for military operations. If we're like, oh, what are the movements of the dwarves gonna be? I'll just fly in, eat the brain of an officer, come back, and be like, I got it, guys, don't worry.
You just fly. You sing "Brains" by Voltaire.
You'd have to kill the officer first.
It's just okay. Do you
It's easy. You
think
block
if I
crimes.
went in and wanted to get a single officer that I couldn't do it?
I'm
I
just
mean, you've
saying.
done
okay.
quite a few times.
Okay.
I have very little care for my well-being. I think I could get it done.
How long does it take a wizard to add something to their spellbook?
The gold is 50
so
per spell level
per
and
spell level, and
2
it's,
hours
2
per
hours.
spell
2
level.
hours per. So yeah.
Okay.
Unless, of course, you are a class of the thing, then it's all half.
No.
So I assume this is necromancy because
I'm
fucking
not a
course it is.
necromancer.
All right.
Yeah, so
we're gonna
Christ.
handle this like you're creating a spell scroll,
Sweet.
and
Oh
then
fuck.
you'll add it in there.
All right.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right. In these 5 days, which one do you want to accomplish first? I guess.
Which one do I want to accomplish?
Which one do you
first?
want to work more towards? I guess.
I think I want to work more towards It's gotta be the Jorvian. I mean, oh no, fuck.
Brains. I won't lie. I'll eat the brains to the zombified.
I think it's gotta be the Jorvian. He's been waiting too long for this.
Sure,
It's
they
gotta
might
be
think
Jorvian.
it's deranged, but they won't give it a thought after I've eaten their brains.
Okay.
Spooky, scary,
I
skeletons.
can't wait. I can't wait
shivers
until
down your
Shivers down
spine.
your spine.
Freaking
Freaking
I'm so
skeleton
happy.
fuck your soul.
Seal your doom tonight.
All right. So we're doing some
fight between any of the wizards, even though like it's the thing is it's like probably never gonna happen, which is why I'm so interested to see what would happen.
It may happen.
Oh, no.
Never say never. Never say never.
Sorry, just kind of like doesn't give a shit about. He's
Yeah.
like he's kind of chill with them. Like they killed Orcafor. He's like, I wish I was there, but I don't really care.
Oh, we're talking about Farwin until.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
We're buddies.
Tenebris decides to strike down his master and take his place. Who knows?
We're
I
not
mean,
that
yes,
sensitive.
this is the rule of 2. I don't know. But also the rule 2 has the extra third freaky guy hanging out somewhere in a swamp.
Yeah,
That's
there's
me.
always a Darth Maul somewhere.
I'm the Darth Maul.
Okay. Considering the stuff that Trillo
Consider the following.
would have, I don't see why he wouldn't have shared it with Sarek. Honestly. I think there is
Give him drugs.
part of that. There's that other idea. Roll me a intelligence check. Arcana makes the most sense, I think.
Alrighty, okay. Arcana. That
Bruh.
sucks. I'm not doing that. Inspiration. Fuck you.
It's 29.
I'm gonna use inspiration. I'm also going to use knowledge from past life because I'm 29. Come on. Okay, so it's 32.
32.
So many 32s today.
What's
Oh my
the second
God.
32 to 10?
I like how
Whoa.
I, the bard, got one higher on an Arcana check last time than the wizard.
Listen, I ain't a skill monkey, dude. I just be doing. I be chilling. I be chilling out here.
Feeling like a villain.
You see what you see? Listen, this is the abilities that I have. This is what I be sticking to. Okay.
Okay.
Just smoke 3 cigarettes at once.
Well. Okay. With what information Trello has given you, I think, and what information I presume Eros might share. I don't know.
Depends how you ask the question.
Like it depends on if you get Eros involved. That will help with some of the specifics here. But you know from Trello and what you have here with that Ruby platform thing that you stole. You have most of what you need to begin upgrading the and or like repairing the creatures. So the there you go. Open up. All right. The ritual itself is still something you're a little hazy on, but you know Eros has gone through the ritual. To actually,
I did see some of it with
yeah.
yeah. If only his brain wasn't rotten.
If
Well,
only his brain wasn't real. The thing that the 32 would confirm is you need a sending spell to complete the ritual. It's one of the last steps.
looked at spell list. I actually don't have sending.
So you know Eros. I think by this point you'd be well aware Eros has it. So it's basically like maybe asking Eros to write it down, kind of thing.
Oh wait, no, I do have sending. What the fuck am I talking about? I was looking at my
Okay.
5th level spells. Okay, no,
I was
I'm
like,
an
yeah,
idiot.
okay, no, that's a third
Just have sending.
level. Okay.
One
I
of
just
us
use
third level
Dream
spells.
because then I can talk longer.
You have already figured out how to open Kelrear, so that's easy. So kind of thing. You know, with a 32, with going inside the cockpit, so to speak, and looking inside and whatnot, like it's not necessarily a complicated thing to like, hey, this is where I sit. You do know that it is something that causes damage the first time you do, unavoidable damage. And it will diminish the more you use it to where a point where you won't take damage eventually. Eros is to that point. Eros has used cash enough to where she can bind with him every time, and it's uncomfortable for Eros. It doesn't necessarily feel good, but it doesn't hurt her anymore. With the platform that you have made of ruby gemstones, you know you don't necessarily need this platform, but it makes it a lot easier to do these things for in and of itself. There you are. So the thing that kind of needs to happen, the thing that you're realizing now is, and this can be you, there's nothing wrong with this, but you need someone, like mechanically speaking, someone needs to be designated as the right, WRIGHT, of the mech. And that person becomes the mechanic, in simplest terms, to bind with the complications that come from being a mechanic to something weird like this. It's a different aspect than being a pilot. But it's basically like someone designates themselves. The only thing I ask is that the mechanic, needs to be proficient in Arcana and something equivalent to like Tinker's tool, something that allows them to mess with things.
So it requires 2 people. Like
Yeah.
like pilot and then tinker person.
No, it can be 2 people. It doesn't have to be.
Cash certainly doesn't have a
Do I think
mechanic.
on my own?
You can. You're understanding
I
it doesn't. It
have Arcana.
doesn't
and
really matter. Thieves tools, I think, counts like something that you're like kind of thing. And then this is a kind of like stuff that I guess you can share for like same with Eros. Like Eros could have another person. Maybe I don't know. Donovan, for example, could be the right for Cash. I don't think Donovan would be, but nevertheless, and Donovan could be the person that works towards those things. It's the right. The most important thing about the right is really just they are the one that manages the quote unquote maintenance of the primordial. Which gets me to my next thing. Your primordial is damaged from the previous fight. And you haven't repaired it yet. The basically you can spend the like equivalent of a gold as you do repair it. You can basically I'm sorry, I was reading while I was talking at the same time. You can spend gold to like repair it, and it's kind of like the resource you need isn't as important to repair it. It's kind of like kind of thing. So it's really
Oh, can
because
I?
they are primordial creatures. Like literally, I'm thinking it's like almost cash or carrier. Like you bring them like a stack of
Material, just like
lumber or
yeah.
whatever, and they like absorb it, and it like
Oh
starts to
man,
repair and things like that.
I
Kind of thing.
want to do like do you know there's like this that thing where like they I think was it in like China or something where they repair like broken pots with
Yeah.
gold. I kind of want to do something like that, but I don't know if I have that kind of gold on me. Uh,
That's a
whatever.
lot of gold.
I'll do it periodically.
There's also one other thing, like there could be one right for everyone, or could there if you want, and like it won't affect the gold cost, but it'll affect how many checks need to roll, kind of thing. Basically, you're learning in order to upgrade, you have to figure out what breakthrough that means. Like you have to roll a check, and the check is kind of dependent on you. You can decide what modifier you want to use on the check. But other than con is the only one you can't use. But you can use any of the other stats towards it. And the DCs right now they're not too bad. You're looking at like a DC 17 kind of thing is where you're shooting for most things. But it does cost a little bit of gold and stuff to do those things. But yeah, you need to repair Kelrear, which is going to take some time. And then you can start to look at upgrading him. Now he rolled a 32, so I'm going to kind of just talk about this here. With the knowledge you've already gained, with the knowledge the party already knows from Trollo and Eros and things. So mostly player knowledge, but some of your characters are aware of this. I made a mechanic for this just so it's something that's more easily manageable. As we kind of gone through as something to build on since Cash was awoken, over 30 sessions ago. But nevertheless, pilots can siphon life energy to increase the grade or the level of their primordial. It takes about 100 charges to gain a level, so to speak. If you have a ruby or other gem platform or something like that, That's worth at least 10,000 gold. Just so you know, that ruby platform's worth about 10,000 gold.
This
Um,
shit is man.
Okay. Then you can use that conduit to diminish the required charges significantly. So it goes down by like 25%. So you can, it takes, okay, per dozen corpses, doesn't matter what they are, corpses, keyword there. Per dozen corpses, you gain 1 charge towards the energy. Okay, that towards the upgrade. Magic items can be thrown at it as well. Depends on the. I went based upon gold cost rather than rarity because there's such a difference in how I attribute rarity and gold for the items. But like if we want to be in simplest terms, like if you wanted to put your uncommon sword, unlikely you would, but you just got your scimitar. If you use that towards Kelrear, it only being the uncommon that it is, but it has this legend about it. So I would count it as legendary. For it, it would give you an entire level, pretty much,
Oh yeah.
kind of thing. So additionally, magical creatures. These they not corpses. They have to still be alive.
We're gonna eat the
Okay.
dragons.
Magical creatures add charges when siphoned equal to their CR of the creature. If they have any spells as part of that stat block, then they add those charges as well. I talked about spells earlier. Like spellcasters are priceless. Like, and I'm talking like live spellcasters you feed to them. This isn't you give them a spell. You have to feed them this person, basically.
Yeah.
Right? So mages add equal to their level or hit dice plus the number of spell slots they have totaled. For example,
So
a level
feed
4.
yourself and revive.
No, you're dead. You're dead. You don't come back. This is permadeath.
No
Permadeath.
no cheating the system.
No cheating the system. This is permadeath.
We love cheating the system.
No. For example, a level 4 wizard would add 4 because he's level 4 plus 1 times 4 for his level 1 slots and 3 times 2 for his level 2 slots for 14 charges total. A level 4 wizard.
Ooh.
This is siphoning the live caster, right? They're alive and they die from the exhaustion when it's done. However, the person being siphoned can make a DC 25 Constitution save to stay alive, but they fall unconscious and suffer the effects of 2 levels of lingering injuries and 4 levels of exhaustion
What?
until those effects go away.
What
You
wizard is
make a
going to
wizard
make?
roll a 25
Like-
Constitution save.
What
Some of
wizard?
They may have proficiency in
I want to
Constitution.
see that. I want to see a motherfucking wizard make a 25 DC
A
con
Blade
save.
Singer could do it. A
Generous
Blade
can only
Singer
get a
could do it.
24. most.
Because Blade
Yeah,
Singers Blade Singers get a bonus to con
Get out of
saves.
here.
Nevertheless,
Swords and shit.
back to magical creatures because I got sidetracked. So if magical creatures cast spells, they add those 2 things. But to another thing you learn with your 32. So there are lots of different kinds of magical creatures out there, right? But if they are an aberration, a celestial, a dragon, a fae, a fiend, or an undead, their charges are doubled when there's a sacrifice to cast,
Wonderful.
equal to their CR. So a CR 25 dragon, okay, offer is 50 charges.
Now, what about a CR 25 dragon that can spellcast?
Depends on the level of spells.
And all
All
dragons
dragons
in
can
Burrow?
You gotta be hunting down a green dragon.
Those that are young adult or older are innate spellcasters and Barter.
Yeah, so they're not just 50. Those are
Yes. So a CR 25 dragon more than likely is giving at least 4 level 4 spells as well. So
that's
That's more
66.
level 4 spells than
Yeah.
any spellcaster.
So there's those things. So your 32 lets you know this as well. This if we're gonna qualify this as a school of magic, you are performing necromancy. To be sure. And your 32 lets your insight tingle a little bit. Your undead senses tingle a little bit. There are going to be consequences that come from using this too much.
Using what too much?
If you siphon too much, you may summon
Okay.
undead.
Oops.
Like they just appear. Like not like you create them, they just appear.
Oh,
You are
For
kind
free?
of opening a small portal to the fugue plane every time you do this.
Oh shit.
well,
Oh shit.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh boy.
Well-
It's all coming together, boys.
The fugue
If that
plane
ain't
used to be
forthcoming, I don't know
ruled
what
by
is.
someone very nice. It's not that way anymore.
It's not nice.
It's not nice. Okay,
it's
so
kind,
in
very
general,
scary.
those are the basic things. Questions?
Told me.
No, that makes sense.
The ritual, you do know it's a skill check challenge. You know that. Player knowledge. So you have sending. Are we trying to bind to Kelry?
If I think I can do it, yeah.
All right, let's see.
Here's another question. Are you going to ask Eros anything about this?
Absolutely, yeah. I want you here.
Okay. Then one quick thing.
I'm not a loner.
As you're working on this, then I would like you need to invest 56 gold to finish repairing Kelrear. If you have mending, you can avoid that cost.
Do I have mending? Let me check.
Who doesn't?
I have mold earth. That doesn't work.
That doesn't. No.
I have mending.
Hmm.
I mean,
I'm a weird
Carrier is
wizard.
metal, and
I'm
what
a weird
fountain
You are
wizard,
weird.
guys.
It's
I think
okay.
you guys can see I'm a
Well-
weird wizard.
I'm gonna bring us to
Look,
the
to each
camp.
wizard their
funny-
own.
the funny
We're not.
thing
I'm
is-
not going to classify you
I
or typecast.
I don't think Eros knows anything about the whole right thing because Cash really has never taken damage. So
Nope.
she's never had to repair him, so she has no idea about that whole aspect.
That's true. Cash's damage threshold, I think, is what, 32?
32, yeah.
32.
And he has resistance to most shit, so
Yeah. Okay.
I only have like one thing I feel like I could hurt Cash with.
Yeah. Cash, he is like Kelrear is there are three types. You would learn this. There are three types of primordials. You have nimble, balanced, and heavy. Cash is quite obviously a heavy. Kelrear, you're pretty sure is a balanced.
Yeah.
And
I have
you
monkey.
met Sarek didn't meet the nimble, but the other group met the nimble. One of the nimble ones, the eagle, was a nimble one. And it's like they're kind of like in simplest terms, it's like different classes basically. Of sort of what they can do. Heavy are obviously more tanky, but they can mess fuck. Oh my god. Heavy gets heavy. What do they call it? They get what is this?
Heavy boy.
I can
Has
literally
Cash even taken a single point of
Heavy.
damage?
Every type has a unique like cooldown like this one. Heavy get runic words as theirs. Unique thing that is unique to just them. Whereas a balanced gets equilibrium. And then nimble. You haven't met yet, so you'll figure that out.
I think the fact
Has
that I
Cash
could
ever taken any damage?
no.
Cash has never taken damage. He's been hit many times, but I knew back when I was making Cash when you guys like back when I was forced to make Cash like 3 arcs earlier. I was just like, I need to make it so he like lives till the end, like so I don't have an issue. So I made sure when I crafted him that he was pretty fucking tanky.
It's quite ironic, isn't it?
Rose-
You make Cash in like the in like 20 episodes more than you would have expected, even,
Yeah.
and you were forced to make him earlier.
Yes, exactly. And
Well,
your Jorvian, your primordial, Sarek, that's you, Kelrir. I've crafted them because you're not making them from scratch. I crafted them so where they're all going to start with like basic skills and abilities, and then
Yeah.
you'll be able to, when you upgrade them, kind of choose how you want to
I mean,
continue that idea.
I can already
Also-
hunt cyclopses, so just
Yes.
what more can I do?
No,
Well,
I don't think you need a deck for that.
you are only grade 1. Just think about
Exactly.
it. You're only grade
Exactly.
1.
me getting Kelreer is good for the rest of the group because when I'm in Kelreer, someone else can ride Carl.
That's very true. That's very true.
Oh.
Strike? Strike.
You'll have to get used
Yes.
to the smell.
Okay.
I learned a whistle for this.
And yes. Other I get like why we're in that. Mental ability scores are determined by you, not it. It doesn't have any mental ability scores.
Oh, sweet.
And so anything that targets that requires a save for one of those stats, it targets the Jorvian, but you roll for it,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
It uses
Uh,
my
and-
mental power.
Yeah, and some Jorvians, some of these guys, like Cash technically does. He's only grade 1, but Cash does provide some extra shielding to
Grade 1 sorcerer.
when he's in there. And then there are 3 types of crystals that can be installed in these things. You have passive crystals, pretty much self-explanatory. Weapon crystals are actions, and you can use them as often as you can. There's just as long as you have an action. Whereas active crystals are bonus actions, and you have a limited number of use per rest that you can use those. Kind of thing. And then you have modifications. You guys, you don't get modifications until like grade 3 or 4, which are basically kind of the equivalent of like feats, sort of, for these things. Yeah. Okay, so why don't we have a little, I guess, narrative scene of, I don't know, is Sarek coming to Eros and learning what she knows about maybe what he could use to his benefit for this?
Hey. It's ape time. I need your help. I gotta learn the moves. I know you got the moves.
What do you mean ape time?
Oh, I'm gonna. I did a lot of research. I'm gonna try to, bond with Kelreer.
Ah,
Teach me your ways, O wise master.
okay.
And Eros hops out of Cash's hole that she likes to lay inside of all the time.
Casual. The money ball.
Yeah, Cash hole.
Okay. Hmm.
Just staring at you.
Well, we have the platform.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Portable charger.
Oh, that I forgot the platform. The platform has the equivalent of like Dance Dance Revolution, like footsteps
Oh,
on
yeah.
it.
Because of course.
Like molded into it, like your feet like go in like socks, like little socks, like kind of thing. But Eros would know that if you don't get the movements right, they will do nothing but trip you up.
Hmm. Do these footholds look similar or the exact, like obviously they look similar, but do they look like the exact same that Eros had to do before? I mean, I'll roll a history check if I need to.
It's like, no, I don't think you need to roll a check for that. It's like It's like the first 7 of 10 steps, if there's 10 steps total, are the same. And then the last 3 are completely different.
Okay.
And I imagine you guys have already set this up on the ground and laid out these platforms and stuff like that.
I think I did something like this in
Like
an
in
Abyss
front of
video.
Cash, like Cash has kind of stepped on them. He's like his feet in some way, shape, or form. Like I imagine you're using Cash to like make sure he's sat upright and whatnot. I think it's one of those things that as Eros looks at the steps and sees the connection it's making to Kelreer, it's not that those 3 steps, like it's almost like those 3 steps weren't there until Kelreer was there, like connected to it. So it's like you think the platforms have some sort of transmutation magic or something attached to them that like you could use this for any primordial. It kind of like, what's the word?
It
Oh
just
man, my
Modifies.
password is 123.
Yeah.
Okay, so this.
Real quick, everyone get an inspiration point
Whee!
before
Nice.
I spend some,
Sweet.
because we've been here for a while and I should have spent more.
Yay. So Arrow says,
So there are 10 steps in total, and the first 7 steps are exactly like the ones I had to do, but these last 3 steps are different.
It's
And
weird.
actually, I think it's transmutation magic imbued inside of the platform itself.
Oh, okay,
So
that makes sense.
if we get another Jorvian, we don't need to get a different platform. It'll just alter itself to the Jorvian itself.
Oh, okay, cool. We don't need another one of these. Sweet.
I
You
mean,
do know that they can't be connected at the same time. So like only one of these guys can benefit from the upgrades that the platform provides.
Oh. It's not like a charger you can just share?
No, if you got another one, yeah.
Fuck, okay.
No, they're too powerful. That's
Alright.
why you're seeing, the camp you guys fought at, they had 4 set up.
Yeah, too strong for you, traveler.
So
okay, but yeah,
Platform
maybe we
seller.
would need another one. Besides, even if they didn't, these things look very, very expensive. Could get a lot of gold out of this.
Yeah, we're not selling them though. Like, we can get money.
I mean, we're not saying we should sell them.
It's
I'm
nice
just
to have
saying.
shiny things though. Yeah, I know what you mean.
No, I mean like I was talking about for Jorvian purposes. If we didn't have these things, I would absolutely sell this thing.
Huh?
You see the Sark smoking.
Yeah, no,
No,
I'm paying attention.
yeah, whatever. Okay. You can cast sending, right?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. And she's going to
Haven't done it
uh
in a while.
she's going to start stepping into the footholds in the correct pattern and to see like cuz obviously there's going to be a movement. Like it's not like you're watching her and it's not like she's just making sure to match her feet in the platform. You can also see that the way her upper body moves between each step is also an attempt to correspond with the movement of her feet at the same time. So it's not so it's definitely something that you can tell by watching her. This isn't just, oh, put your foot in the right spot. This is you are performing an actual dance that goes along with it. And based off of her memory of the dance that she performed, the first 7 steps are the easiest for her to figure out. And then transitioning to the last 3 steps uh, takes her like a second to figure out. And I'll just
I
do
would like you to roll an insight check. No, she's doing the dance
Oh.
right now. Okay. A 30 fucking okay.
That's pretty good.
Skills. I forget I'm asking a bard rogue hybrid to roll a check. Yeah, you with the 37, Sarek, there is a beauty in Eros's dancing that is something that's she's very talented,
My
and
pupils
she
dilate.
intuits the last three moves that like you don't know what else they could be when you see her do those steps. Like what like that's obviously what it should be. And I imagine there's the briefest pause before she goes into those three steps. And when she finishes the three steps, there is a noise that comes from Kelrir. And Eros knows that if they would cast sending, they don't know what would happen to their bond to Cash, but basically Kelrir is inviting you, kind of thing. That you seem to understand what his spirit needs, so to speak, in order to awaken him. And you step off the platform, and there's this energy that's in the platform, like the rubies are ignited in a way. It's obviously waiting, and it'll slowly dissipate as you guys continue.
Eros would, after finishing, she would remember something, and she would call out, Roxana, can you come here for a second?
Imagine Roxana skips over, probably in the middle of I don't know what at this point. Honestly, cooking something. Sure,
The bitch needs to practice.
she does.
What was... I know you were not able to connect with Cash, and they made you attempt it multiple times. Were you exhausted because you kept failing the dance, or because of how much they worked you?
She has been watching and listening in on this, I think, because of that pastime. And she takes a moment and looks at Kelreer and looks more at the platform as the magic dissipates out of it. As what they didn't understand that you figured out so effortlessly.
Rep God.
Yes. Is speaking to it as an equal. You have talked to me many times across great distances as that equal. To others, to Cerulean, they didn't understand the spell that I think was needed to speak to it. They thought they could order to it. And it doesn't take orders. As far as I've seen, Cash is you. There's no difference, it seems, when you're together.
Right. You couldn't cast the spell at that time.
I can now. I've since learned. But I do not wish to hold such power.
I don't want you on the front lines anyway. As she and she bonks her on the head.
I'd just like to say she's a level 9 bard, but she has 46 HP.
Exactly.
She has no con modifier, guys.
Oh God, why?
She was
Someone
just
put her in a
an
hamster ball.
She was just an NPC horse.
She was an NPC that I thought was gonna die many sessions ago.
So,
Constitution.
do I gotta do that dance?
Yes, and then at the very end, you cast sending, but of course you have to do the dance correctly.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna need your help.
Don't worry, it's... Wait, I probably
I'm not a
shouldn't say it's
dancer.
easy. Look, just in front of me.
In
Just step in front of me, and
All right.
just face me the whole time.
Got it.
And we're going to do this without the platform. Now,
Cool.
I want you
to mimic everything that I'm doing.
Uh-huh.
And she's going to recreate the exact movements and is expecting you to just, follow along.
Could I do like an investigation and a performance?
What is the point of
Yeah.
the investigation?
To basically be analyzing like intently the entire time. Or I don't know, I guess that might even be
Okay.
insight or something, but I guess I wouldn't
Um,
really be doing it in that kind of way. I'd be like trying to logically just be like, what are the exact moves going on here?
yeah. Why don't you roll an investigation check as like a precursor check?
Yeah. Well, hey, that's something.
And she's giving you a bardic inspiration for whatever role you want to.
Yeah.
I would
This
save that
is
for your other.
practice, so I'm probably not gonna use it on this one. But,
Yeah, no, yeah, I'd save it for the other.
let's see how my moves are.
Okay. The practice check, the investigation, as you kind of practice with her, will help, to be sure. I think in essence of what was rolled there, it's basically gonna like lower the DC a little bit for you. To make it a little easier for you. Good thing you rolled a 26. And it is, and watching her, it is a. You need to roll 3 checks for me for the performance itself, for the actual dance to bond to Kelrier. The first is a performance. The second is an acrobatics. I would accept athletics, but usually acrobatics. And then the third is an insight.
Well, I'm good at one of those.
Now the investigation you rolled will, lower the DC a little bit. I am fine if Eros helps on one of those checks.
Okay, I'm fine on the acrobatics. I'll be able to handle that. The insight's probably gonna hit me the worst.
Really? Oh,
That's
insight is the
that's
worst
my
one.
lowest mod. I have a higher performance than I do insight.
You are not a wise person.
No, I'm
Nope.
what? No, what? Sorry, what? No. Uh, yeah. Here, I'm gonna. So, okay, I am going to just like look for a moment. I think I'm ready. Yeah, yeah. He takes a hit of something. Okay.
Okay. Now, something, and this is going to be how she gives you advantage on the insight check. Now, when you're doing this, understand that you're not just, just trying to recreate the motions to get it right. It's like you're talking to Kelrier the entire time, that you're trying to communicate with him that you can be one and the same, that the way that you move can also be the way that he moves, but you're not forcing the matter on him. You're just saying, hey, if I can do this, can you do it as well?
It's like a vibes-based interpretive dance. Got it.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I've been to art house shit before. It's cool. He cracks his neck. It sounds unhealthy.
His neck goes to a 45-degree angle. And
There's like there's a snap that like sounds way too wet. But he doesn't seem to be bothered.
Like that, that's not an air bubble. That's something else.
No, that was like a. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It happens. I'll get it. Yeah, so I'm gonna step up onto the plate, just like look up into my big funny monkey's eyes. This is for you. All right. And what is the first check? So I'm just grooving it. Performance. Okay. Groove it. 19. Oh my god. This is where I'm gonna add my knowledge of the past life. To make that a 20. Well, it'll be maybe slightly more than that because I have to. No, wait, I can't do that because I'm not proficient in it. Fuck. I can only do that. Yeah.
Your
When you make an
investigation.
ability check that uses a skill. No, never mind. No, I can use that. What am I talking
Your
about?
investigation from
That's silly.
before lowered the DC. Your
Well,
performance.
fortunately, I can use that. I got a 24. I read it wrong.
Okay. Eros, you're surprised how well he's looking so far. Because he's a little rickety.
I
in the
took
practice.
performance enhancing drugs for this.
Alright, the next check is an acrobatics.
I'm grooving.
17. So it's a 17. What I'm gonna do is actually, I'm gonna make it a 19. By using, can I not tell other people what this is? Because I kind of want to keep it a secret for now. But I can tell you. Because it's
Okay.
funny. It's funny if I could just do this randomly afterwards. Yeah. It's my,
Just GM whisper the bitch.
yeah, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's not. Don't pay attention to this. Ignore the man behind the curtain.
Okay.
Here, I'll just paste it real quick. It's just this. It's pretty simple. Yeah. So it's a 19.
Okay. Alright. The last check is an insight.
Alright, here's where I'm definitely gonna have to use that bardic inspiration. Yeah, I knew that. I'm gonna use inspiration. Get that delicious little 13 right there.
Well, I already gave him advantage on the insight by telling him, right?
you were giving me advantage on that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind then. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
So silly. What's your die for bardic inspiration?
D8.
Wonderful. Splendid even. I hope I don't fuck it up. Well,
Well, if you
it's a
fail, you
15.
keep it. So
It's a 15.
Okay. With Eros's help and your own large brain rolling that 26 investigation, you pass all three checks.
Brain blast.
You are getting towards those last three moves. Is he a fucking bard, Eros? You're not sure. Like, it looks really good. Well, no, those last two. Never mind. No. That the hip is just in the wrong angle.
just the three bards are watching him and like, just
His joints don't look right.
They don't
Can't
look
judge
right.
him harshly.
It's awkward angles. Like, you're not sure if an elbow shouldn't bend that way. It shouldn't have been that way, but it's bending that way. Okay, you're not sure how this is working, but you see the magic activating, and Sarek, as the one going through the dance, you hear that noise, that groan, that like acknowledgement. Do you cast sending?
I cast sending upon Kelrier.
In the sending spell, you know from your research you must say his name and whatever else you want to say, but his name is most important.
Kelrier, you have broken free from the bonds of your former captors. I think we should become something new together. See what our potential could be.
There is a response in a sense of acceptance, a sense of like, you know, he's looking at you. There are no words that are shared. And once the sending is complete, once those words complete their verse in the spell, the Kelreer moves of his own volition, and he kind of steps forward like a gorilla, and his two fists in front of him on all fours, and his head like pops and moves and then lowers, and then his arms lower down, and his head, like the back of it, almost turns into like stairs or something you can climb in, or on top of to go behind his head to where his like
That's sick.
neck vertebrae kind of is, and go in between there to his chest and kind of
Man,
climb
that's
in.
fucked up. I like it.
Um,
While he does that though, when he like leans down for that, I do like do a fancy bow to him. It's like okay, yeah. And then I fist bump him and I go up the stairs.
there's a fist bump to be sure. Okay, this is the first time you were climbing into the cockpit. And in like a matrix kind of sense, there's different parts of your body that end up connecting to it. And like puncturing your flesh, digging holes and like establishing connections to your nervous system, basically. And it is painful to be sure. But it is not going to kill you as the high level that you are.
So not something that I'm like too unfamiliar with.
I would imagine so, yeah. So you take 21 unavoidable necrotic damage.
Oh, okay.
And
it goes through Arcane Ward.
Go through Arcane Ward, goes through resistances. It is connecting to your being.
Jeez, boys.
And as I said, if you use this bond every day, you're eventually not going to take any damage. I narrated it mostly in the past with Eros, because she ended up using it so much in the first couple days, it didn't matter, kind of in that situation. My point I'm going to get to is if there's like a significant narrative point where it's obvious you're not part of Kelrir and bonding with him or whatever, then I'm probably going to say you take damage again when you bond with him. Most of the time, it's going to be, I imagine it's not that big a deal. However, if there's a significant amount of time, usually more than a week, in my world, a week is 10 days. More than 10 days go by, it hurts. It hurts. It's the equivalent of like a critical effect of taking you. Kind of him being like, "Why did you leave me alone, you bastard? Supposed to spend time with me."
I'll take you on a walkie.
All right, I'm going to give you access to Kelrir's sheet now. You please don't edit anything.
I won't.
But that way you can start to utilize
I'm not a silly
it.
guy like that.
He's in the land friends folder above your PC folder. The rest of you should be able to at least see his thing there. But nevertheless, there you go.
I like this guy.
He's very powerful. I had fun making him.
Yeah. Wow.
I had fun making him. His passive crystals are very unique. I tried to really highlight the monkey essence. So anytime he scores a hit with his unarmed strike, after moving at least full speed on a turn, it becomes a critical hit. Just automatically.
Wow.
Because he's just big monkey boy. His other passive crystal, Technique, whenever he succeeds on a melee hit rolled by 5 or more, so their AC is 12, you roll a 17, okay? It can choose to push the target 30 feet and knock it prone or grapple it as part of the punch. And then he has Impact Punch, which is lots of fun as one of his weapon crystals. And then his chest opens up for Blastback Cannon. And he can use Blastback Cannon to, like, he did it in the very first fight you did it. The guy did it. He used Blastback Cannon. He jumped, and then he used it while he was still high to, like, shoot him up more, kind of in the process.
There's a fucking Metal Greymon chest rocket.
Yeah, awesome.
Basically. Active crystals, like I said, they have 7 uses, each rest, kind of thing. And he has the active crystal Reinforce, which, you can make yourself immune to different damage types, basically, or remove people's immunity and things like that. And then I gave him Titan's Leap because he's a big fucking monkey. So he can jump pretty far.
Be clear, how do like buff spells work if I cast them on Killer? Like, could I enlarge him? Or would that just absorb it?
Like, I can cast Longstrider on Cash to give him extra movement.
Enlarge? I don't know if it'll give the bonuses of enlarge, but it won't really make him bigger.
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Wouldn't it
Um,
be
Um,
gargantuan if it did?
He is already gargantuan.
Oh, it is. Okay,
It
holy shit.
depends. Does he have a mutable construct on him?
Yes, they all
Because
do.
then yeah, any spell effect which would alter the
Oh,
form.
and large would alter his form. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I think
Um,
if it's just like a normal like buff like Long Strider, then it should be fine.
yeah.
Sweet.
So, and then I also allow certain class abilities if they make sense. Like, it's not something I initially planned, but then Arrows asked me early on, "Can I use cunning action?" I'm like, it didn't make sense why you couldn't use cunning action if you're that connected to this creature. So, like certain things, just ask me, like kind of thing. If it comes up, if there's something
I
you're
feel
like,
like
hey,
just maybe like just basically. Well, no, that's I don't even need to. My arcane ward would already apply because I can just use it on other people anyways.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. The only other thing is I'll just post it for everyone. The hulls, math, There's the outer holes, inner holes. It is basically more for me to think of for those things, but nevertheless, it does help mitigate damage when they start to take damage. A lot. It's something that you're gonna see more. It's just you guys haven't fought any other Jovians yet. So. But nevertheless, now that that's kind of we got to that kind of introduction idea.
I kind of want to say just for like narrative flavor that after the performance is over, the three bards are just like all together judging his movements and just talking amongst themselves like, ah, yeah, that doesn't look right. Like,
Yeah,
what the hell is
America's
that?
Got Talent.
Yeah, exactly. They're just all like just critiquing him as they're watching, like, oh yeah, like well, I don't think a kneecap is supposed to do that.
Interesting take on
Okay.
that.
Interesting take.
For kind of now that we have established that a little more, this is the thing I just put in Animaesus logs is the module whatnot that I found years ago that gave me the inspiration for all this. I'm using it pretty verbatim, but I have modified some things like how it works narratively and how the rights and mechanics and stuff like that work. But I wanted to share that with you guys now so you can start to look at upgrades, like things that you can do,
Oh, yeah.
kind of
Reminds me of a
thing.
mighty servant almost.
As the what? I'm sorry.
Crazy shit. You know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Thanks.
okay,
Fucked.
so above table, literally the Jovians, the primordials, as I've been calling them narratively, they're kind of my only, not my only, but like one of the bigger mechanic answers I have to how crazy and fucking insane powerful the Tarrasque is. Kind of thing. Because it is the way the Tarrasque that I'm using for the end game kind of thing, presuming that he wakes up. I'm pretty sure he will.
That can be like a CR50 at least.
Yeah, it's going to be. He's designed not to be beatable by the average party. Like he's supposed to not be able to be defeated. So I wanted, and I was like, well, you guys are really fucking strong. For one, you have a strike, you have a Killian. I don't know if they'll come together, but like at the same time, I'm like,
Dude,
they're
if Strike and Killian walk together,
Yeah.
holy shit, the chaos
like,
is gonna escalate.
well, I'm glad that we have two of our casters, Eros is kind of a caster. Eros I find is more skill monkey, but nevertheless,
Yeah.
people that are more skill based or more magic based dealing with creatures like that in endgame, they struggle, I think, a little bit more because of those things. So I don't know. We'll see how it works. I wanted to experiment with it, and it's something that I've always wanted. I've loved Gundam since I was really young, like really, really young. So, and then I found Escaflowne, and then I was like, oh my god. And then like Escaflowne is like a big part of it. And I'm gonna give you guys access to another handout that all of you can look at now, that if you would like. What the picture in it is from Escaflowne, one of my favorite anime. But nevertheless, that explains the process, that as a reminder for the future, that Sarek just went through. and kind of the different things you can do to upgrade. So you guys can.
Oh damn! Yeah, you lowered the DC by 7.
He lowered the DC by 7. Yes, it's a good thing you did, because otherwise,
Nope.
otherwise, yeah, it's a DC 20 most of the time. Eros didn't have that. Eros just rolled 25, 26, 27. And I was just like, fuck god, you skilled. And you were like level 9.
Yes.
You know, it was just like, yeah. But nevertheless. With that done, that kind of wraps up those 5 days that were part of last session. And then that brings us to some of the conversations that have happened since then that were part of the recap about going to the Queen and the demons and other things that are summoned. So I imagine what Eros just did with Sarek would be part of how she figures out and comes to like thinking about, I think, how the demons could be used, I guess maybe. So there's you guys have from this point, after these 5 days, about a week of time before above table I'm telling you something crazy is gonna happen. Like the dwarves are gonna show up. Your in game, your characters would learn of this within these next few days. There would be reports coming in from the Lapids and things like that, and I'll get to that when it narratively makes sense. But talking to players, I know there were 2. We kind of did my third scene just now, which is fine. Talking about the primordials, there was a discussion of helping the Lapids make some siege weaponry. You guys,
Yep, I gotta use my engineering
specifically.
degree. I haven't used it since the City of Salt.
That's funny. There's specifically you mentioned catapults.
Yes.
As part of things,
And Ballista.
and then catapults and ballista would be the easiest to construct by far. And then the only other scene I had is like we joked from Mulan last session, but I'm calling it the Be a Warrior scene, where you guys are training them, and it's to training the commoners to be more than commoners, basically. Kind of thing. So, what this will inevitably do with both of these checks is it will give me more work to do, to be sure. But second,
I have an important
second,
question.
it'll give you guys I don't know, at least some compensation. I think for what's coming at you in some ways, the dragons were involved. There are things that are complicated, to be sure, with that. But you guys know from what you've already seen of the dwarves compared to what you've seen of the Lapids. The Lapids have like 50 good warriors. They're like a couple thousand of them that live around here, right? But they have like 50 really good warriors, and that's it. And you have these dwarves coming that there's a couple thousand of them.
Do they have any blacksmiths?
There would be small blacksmiths. There wouldn't be anything really large.
And with 4 dwarven-sized plate armors, how many medium armors could we make for the Lapids out of those? How long would it take?
Okay. Lapids are the average lapid is a small creature. Occasionally they grow to medium size, but the average lapid is a small creature. So I would imagine you said 4 dwarven?
4 dwarven plates, yes. And we also got shields, which could probably be smelted and reused as armor, unless they want to use them the shields as is.
That's true.
And
I'm gonna be summoning 3 elementals because I feel like I look over their forces. I'm like, I was gonna save one for myself, and I'm like, these guys are
They need it more.
they're gonna die.
Like it's going to be like pitchforks versus blades.
Yeah.
They're the Animaesus. They rely on their obscurity as part of their defense. They have people that do train and become powerful, but it's not like humans who have like schools that are like, hey, we're gonna all train you to be paladins. Doesn't work
But
that
like
way.
another thing is though, like using we can set up guerrilla tactics within the city for if they get to there, and then we can set up choke points that they'd have to move through. That would make it easier for a smaller force to actually contend with.
Yeah,
There's
I like it.
no way in hell the dwarves are just gonna pass through peacefully.
Well,
It's not.
my idea for this inevitable encounter, which is obviously not happening today, I want us to discuss as much as we can about this and kind of do some checks to help establish that future inevitability. Like usually how I handle big things like this, or this is a D&D game, is you guys will have specific scenes that are happening while the fight is happening that you're dealing with, and the success in your scenes will help determine the success of the NPCs, kind of thing. And then I'll do some checks, maybe roll some encounters on my back end for things. But I don't want it to be a long belabored, like, I'm clicking 17 catapults to fire them all at the dwarves.
Yeah, and it would be
Kind
like
of thing.
it would, I know basically I don't think Greed was there for the Red Mother fight.
I don't think he was.
So it's like
Oh,
literally just we fought like the ancient red dragon, mother of all red dragons.
Oh no, that was long before I joined.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like literally I'm the only one who was there. But
Brandon was there, but yeah.
yeah, but he's not here.
Yeah.
But it would basically be like that essentially, like, oh yeah, there's a lot of shit going on, but we're all just doing our own individual fights, and depending
Mhm.
on how well we do.
I've tried to handle it in the other capacity, but it's a lot more work for me. The only other
There's
way
a-
I've had a successful, the only other way I've done, I also did this in the Dragon Rider campaign, is I made literal armies and we played out some army stuff, and it was it was a lot of work on my side.
There is
I was part of an army fight at least. That was pretty badass.
Have you read through the okay, you probably haven't. There's specifically in the Adventure Divine Contention, there is a basically like a way that they do it is it is a flow chart of events where it's like encounter, like how well they do in the encounter, how then like fucking
Yeah,
go to the
I'm
next
thinking of something similar. Yeah.
yeah.
I have not read that, but I will definitely look that up.
Yeah,
You said
it's
Divine
Leyland,
Contention?
it's Leyland Besieged is the specific thing. It's pretty cool actually. I think it's they do it pretty well.
That's cool. That's cool.
I'm
No,
running it soon.
yeah. Awesome. Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago, we had this giant war that happened between 3 armies, and I found this like
Battle 3
large scale battle homebrew thing that someone put together, Unearthed Arcana thing, and it worked. It was just like it was so much
Clunky.
time. It took me forever to set it up. Like
Yeah.
I had to make so many NPCs that I didn't think I had to make, kind of thing. And I just don't know if that's always worth it to do. Like in that campaign, it kind of made sense because like one of the PCs was literally the general of the army, and it kind of made sense to do it that way. But
It
then
is-
then
yeah.
the rest of you, like the thing I noticed with that encounter is like the rest of you weren't as involved with that encounter, and it kind of was like, why did I do so much work?
Unfortunately, getting bogged down in mechanics is something that happens. When you
Yeah.
can really just make it more cinematic, and honestly,
Yeah,
it's more
well,
fun.
that's what I want to do, and that's what we did
Yeah.
with the mother. And every time I've done that, I felt it's been a lot more successful, kind of thing. To be like, okay, you guys have 2 or 3 encounters that are happening with some of the the craziest fighters in the army, kind of thing, because you guys are the crazy fighters on the other side, kind of thing. And then the Lapids are doing their best to what the Lapids and dwarves, they're very opposite creatures if you think about it. Dwarves are very slow, methodical, armor, weapons, kind of things. Lapids,
Fast and
very
loose.
opposite. All Lapids in my world get dash as a bonus action, so they're very, very quick. And I think that guerrilla tactic thing is something that I want to play with a little bit more too. Okay, well, the construction of the catapults. Strike seems to be heading this up with things we've already talked about. The aspect of crafting for them, going out, chopping down some trees, having their
But we're getting
blacksmiths
ahead of
some
ourselves
things.
for the crafting thing. We should first get a layout of the land itself, so we can place them strategically.
We can do that at the exact same time, though.
Oh, also true.
You have to think we are the commanders. We tell people to go do other shit while we operate the things that are more
Okay.
important. So telling them, "Hey, go get wood." We don't need to think about that. Just, "Hey, go get wood. You guys know where the wood is. Just go get it." Well, we can just stay looking for the tactical positions of where we're going to put the ballista and the catapults.
While they get wood, I could go around and, with minor illusion, could I make a proper map, a proper layout of the leopard land?
They probably have maps that we can just buy.
But I get the feat for magic and I want to use it.
Okay.
I'm bringing in the troops right now. Is what I'm doing.
Also,
Okay.
getting wood.
Keep my
Thank you, Rose.
Didn't expect to fight in the war. I do like that guerrilla
never
tactics
changes.
idea. I think we can turn this into a Viet Cong
say
meets
guerrilla?
Ewok situation here. I'm talking traps, spikes, pits with poop to poison our enemies. I'm talking barrel logs to hit people with choke points.
He's speaking
Way
about
ahead.
I mean,
Block
Way ahead of you,
holes.
it's literally
no.
going to be we're just
buddy.
using we're literally just making sure to thin their forces out as much
Zorn
as
should be
possible.
used more. They're one of my favorite.
I thought we're taking no
creatures.
prisoners, leaving no survivors,
Yeah,
and letting them sleep at peace.
we are not leaving survivors.
We thin their numbers out while they're approaching, and then we corral them inside of the city
Leave some
itself.
officers.
Wait, who's thinning the numbers outside? So are we letting them get into the city? Well, this ain't really.
No, why do you think we're building catapults?
No, we're going to attempt to stop them outside the city, but if we think we need to fall back, then we have guerrilla tactics to give us backup. We know where the traps are, they don't.
But we're having both a standing army and guerrilla tactics.
Well, we're more of the standing army.
Here's how we bring this together. Here's what I'm saying. We have tunnels underground. Yeah, right?
Yep.
We can
Yeah,
totally make
yeah.
more.
What we do is
That's
we
my
prepare for
specialty.
their approach and have the first main line of defense. And we then pincer maneuver, attack underground, and scatter the forces. If we start to lose momentum and ground, we spread out through the tunnels and guerrilla fight them, and just popping up from the ground, and taking pot shots at them from every direction. Here's how we're going to help with that.
But
Liam, I have a question. Given how much more we could loot of this army, I don't think you have any complaints if we distribute what we got so far among the leopards.
Well, you see, my looting is not necessarily because I love looting. My looting was because I plan to sell these to other city-states around the lands.
Yes. But consider how much more we can get out of this stocked army.
well,
In order to raise our chances of victory, we need to outfit these rabbits with more than half currently.
we can't outfit them in the middle of the battle.
I can.
No, that's why we do it prior.
Well, how are
do
you
it
going to
right
get
now.
all these weapons and armors for them?
I can
Exactly.
do it right now.
We have a few. It's gotta be something at least, I guess.
You guys want me? I can do it.
How?
Okay. All of our problems are gonna be way less once I get the big Zorn. Just give me an hour. Give me an hour. I'll be right back.
Okay.
You see him just smoking a ridiculously long blunt. It's not even that thick. It's just really weirdly long.
Okay. Strike. The tunnels, that's an interesting idea. Do you think you can make an entire do you think you could dig a hole
Primordial
big enough
War.
under the ground that it'll be relatively stable, but if we want, we could make it collapse through.
Sounds like a job for a Zorn.
Sounds like
I mean, that sounds like a trap pit.
Yes.
For a
And I have a
Zorn.
question. Oh
Make
god.
it big.
Well, I think you need multiple
make
then,
it
because
fast.
we don't know how these dwarves are going to be moving. It'd be stupid for the general to lead them all in one direction, especially if they know they're going to be attacked. Because what they start splitting off. Because if you say that we like 7 tops are out there, and there's going to be like reported thousands, what's stopping like 8 or 700 to say, okay, let's not deal with them. Let's continue on our destination and see that tasty village of tasty rabbits.
Well,
collapse
we've
the
literally
ground.
vacated all of the villages nearby to
Yeah.
the city, so there's nothing for them to attack except the city.
We put all the non-fighters in the magical mansion.
Yes,
Okay,
we
it
can.
cannot fit that many people.
Are you sure they're
How
pretty
many
small?
people can you even fit?
I fucking a lot,
Right.
but like I
How
don't
about
know if
this?
it's
I'll
that
leave you
many.
guys to the planning, and you let me know when it's time for fighting.
We're gonna make tunnels. You see, I'm like drawing a big magical circle in the ground and like chanting in primordial and shit. I'm like, it's cool, guys. I'm getting them. Like I got the boys.
Well, if we can have
I'm gonna get
giant...
2 big Zorns. They're gonna dig for us, and they can look for treasure. And
We don't need
And-
treasure right now.
no,
Hey, no,
before we
let
get
him
the
cook. Let
weapons.
him cook.
Hey, he knows what's up.
Damn.
They can smell treasure and precious metals.
Mm,
Which
know what's a
could
precious
be
metal?
used for
You know
smelting.
what's a precious metal? Adamantine.
Oh, I see what meant.
that might take time to
mithril.
deal with, though.
Not if it's a Zorn. Come on, I got this.
No,
Okay,
I mean
wait.
for the smelting part of it. For someone to actually craft something out of it.
No, I'll
That-
just get a Cinder Hulk.
Hey, don't make for good soup. I don't think we want it.
yeah.
No, okay. Here's what I'm
No,
gonna
no,
do.
you're thinking Umber Hulk.
I
You
summon
didn't say
2
that.
Zorns and
Oh.
what else can I get? Fuck. Cinder Hulk. That'll work. Yeah. It'll be a
They make
yeah.
for good
That's
soup.
probably the best I got.
I don't know. I don't.
Maybe a
What the hell's a
salamander?
Cinder
They're
Hulk in
pretty
the first
smart.
place?
Yeah. we
Oh,
should
it's like a
probably eat it. That's
fucked
funny.
up. It's like a fucked up dude.
That
Oh,
Tells
it's
me
a fucked
nothing.
up-
Do you have any idea how little that narrows it down?
narrows
Yeah,
it down
it's
by
like
none.
they're like descendants of. They're like dumb descendants of fire giants that got fucked up in the plane of fire.
Wait, so
So,
are they
yeah, we
on
can
fire? Or are they
Are
fire?
they,
They're
are,
kinda
they,
made
are they
of ash.
elementals or are they fire giants?
Nah, they're
Uh,
elementals.
Yeah, that's not good soup.
No,
Why are you talking about soup? What the fuck is it
we
with
could
you and
make
soup?
them to help us make soup. They're made of fire, so we could use them to cook.
Here's
this.
what I'm saying. I get a Cinder Hulk, or I might even get a fucking.
I need to
hold
be
on.
able to control my flames when I'm
Okay,
cooking.
Myrmidon.
You can't just.
Fine.
can't just
How
use
about I get a
whatever
fire
fire.
elemental Myrmidon then?
That's fair. That's
I
fair.
mean,
So
you
we got-
can get whatever you want. I mean, I'm not telling you what you can get.
Hmm.
I mean, those Zoran whatevers, if they're good at digging, that's great. Like, how fast could they dig?
They're
Like,
big a dig.
how fast can they dig pitfalls?
I don't know, fast.
Seth, I have a question. Would the cunning action make digging faster outside of common and stuff?
Of course it would.
If you're fucking.
Okay, then I can dig 60 feet.
What the fuck? Yeah, okay, here's the plan. So we're gonna wanna this is like the adamantine thing's a side thing. I was gonna originally hire an invisible stalker, but it's whatever.
I like your funny words, Magic Man.
I mean,
We'll do that later. I'm
Keep
gonna
up
summon
7
2
seconds.
big Zorns, and I need some input here. Either a Cinder Hulk, which is a fucked up like cousin of a fire giant.
well, we're gonna need something to light all of the
Yeah,
projectiles
no.
on the catapults.
mm,
Very true. And we could
Okay.
also unleash them to set the dwarves themselves on fire.
It's true. Yeah, they only exist to burn things, but like I can control them, so I think it's
Derek, how many
yeah.
fireballs do you have in you?
a lot.
A lot? Okay, that's all we need.
Oh
Well,
no,
that's
dude, I've
assuming that he's
I've
devoted
way
to
better shit than a
exclusively-
fireball, man. Don't even worry about that.
Oh, I like that guy.
Hmm.
All right, we're gonna have ourselves a dwarven feast by the end of this.
So I
mean-
have 3,000 GP gems. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to. How many days do I have to do this? By the way, wait, no, I would have been able to set this up because I got the first day. Because I'm not using those big spell slots for anything I was doing otherwise.
We've had
It's been 5 days and we
we've
have 10
had
more.
5 days since the time we're talking about now, and then you have another 10 days after that 5 days.
I have plenty of time.
So
I-
during your 5 days, you were doing a lot
Yeah.
with the
Yeah,
research.
no, I wouldn't.
about
This does take a lot of time. I wouldn't be. Yeah. Actually, I don't sleep very long.
Hmm.
Could I have at least got one big Zorn?
What are you doing?
I
Just
want
summon this
one
word.
big Zorn. Okay, here's the actual mechanical of what I'm doing here. I'm casting Conjure Elemental.
Okay.
Then I'm casting Planar Binding.
Okay.
I'm casting the Conjure Elemental at let me see. To get a big Zorn, which is a creature, from it's a creature from what is it called? Fuck, Mad Mage, Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Just a big Zorn. It's a Zorn but bigger.
So we need like level 7, 8 for that.
It's yeah. I would need to cast it at level 8. So then I would have to do the
What's
planar
the
binding.
CR of the creature?
8.
You might need a
Hmm.
glyph of warding to have the planar binding proc.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool.
I don't know your kit. Go ahead.
It's cool. Hold on. I can do that. No, it's the exact amount of time for it to cast, I think.
Well,
immediately
because it's weird. It's like a 6-second difference. Again, I don't know how Minute Sets wants to go into it, but you have to. Well, pretty much you have to take a minute. So you have like now 59. Well, you have an hour of duration, but in that duration, you have to now cast to use your actions to cast planar binding.
Yeah.
Which might be weird interacting concentration wise. So typically, what I've seen people do is they would
planar
do the
binding's
planar
like
binding.
concentration.
No, planar binding's not concentration, but arguably, if you're spending your action to, casting a spell, some could say it's concentration. But nevertheless, typically what I've seen people do with planar binding is that they would have it set in a glyph of warding, and then they have the
No, you
creature
put it
in
in a
magic.
magic circle.
Yeah, you put the creature in magic
Inverted
circle so
magic
it doesn't
circle.
move, but you have the
Yeah.
glyph of warding so that way it can just cast the spell for you while you do other stuff.
That's true.
Because technically, yeah, since they only last for an hour. I mean,
They would
I mean,
complete at the exact same time is the thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like so semantic. It's like a
'Cause I'd be
really just semantic
Because
thing.
I would be
Semantic
I would be
semantics.
casting the spell directly as the 1 hour started, so both of them would end at the same time. So I feel like it would work, right?
It worked before, didn't it?
Yeah. Like Seth, do you think that's fine? Because then planar binding would be weird, kind of.
It's such a small thing that it's like, I just
To
really has
me,
prog.
this would matter more if like we were in conflict.
Yeah, because
Like
I
if
know
we
how
were
to do
in
this setup.
like if this
Yeah.
was like if this was a conflict or combat, then I'd be like, yeah, fuck. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
like considering you have time to like do this, I'm not so worried about it.
Okay.
Now is the CR8 the highest you can make it?
Yeah, because I can only cast
Okay.
8th level spells.
Okay, got you.
Damn it.
Because
I'm below you
for
silly wizards.
for future things in the monster manual expanded that I have got for
Oh shit, I
free
have
for
that
roll
too.
20, there is an Elder Zorn that's a CR9.
Oh,
Elder
I was about to
Lord.
ask you. Oh, fuck, you have that too? That's awesome.
Yes.
Can we make the reduced threat version?
No,
Kind of
I
thing.
got this. I'll import it. It's from Mad Mage, so I have to like the compendium stuff is kind of weird.
It is.
I
Unless
can do this real quick though.
yeah, no worries. Zorn
And
are
then
hilarious. I've only used them in 2 campaigns because they're so unique. They're so unique.
but they're so useful. Think about
They
having
are.
a Zorn with you for half a year. Like think about what
Treasure
you could do
sense.
with that construction wise for a Lapid city and also treasure wise. And they
Yeah.
can sense where their dwarves are, like from below the surface and everything, and know where their treasure is.
Then just dig a giant pit and make them all fall
Wait,
in.
oh my god, they could track down the ruby plates.
Wow, okay.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I
They're
didn't even
fucking
think
awesome.
about that.
Yep.
I love Zorns. I love
They
them.
are gemstone bloodhounds.
Yeah. Oh god, what fucking weird name did I call this?
I like the wording on planar binding for a 9th level slot.
Oh,
to
Dungeon of the
be
Mad Lad.
a year and a day. It's just a year and a day.
Zorn.
Not just
Yeah.
a year, it's a year
and a day.
They took that
Very
from
important.
they
So-
took that from older editions. There were
What I'm
lots of
gonna-
spells like that.
What I'm able to do is I have to do 7th level, so it's 180 days. Or no, it's
That would
30
be
days with a 7th level slot.
30 days.
So they will only be around for 30 days.
that's more than enough time for us.
Is it worth it? Is it worth it to do just normal Zorns and have them around for like a really long time though?
I
We
mean,
just kill them if we get out of control. Easy.
the fight is literally going to be in 10 days, so it's. I mean, if you want to keep using them,
I don't think they need
afterwards-
Zorns for longer than 30 days. These are
We
okay.
still have
We're
20
gonna
days
get
to dig for
big
them
Zorns.
afterwards.
Okay, here's the option: big Zorns for 30 days or normal Zorns for 180 days.
The question is, does that change how many pitfalls we can make? That would be the question.
Probably, because the normal Zorns are only medium sized. The big Zorns are large,
Like,
and
would-
they're significantly better in combat.
yeah, because if it's like
Yeah, you know what? I'm doing bang for your buck. 2 big Zorns. 2 big Zorns.
bigums,
Uh,
bigums.
Pitfalls and holes for
Yeah,
Lapis to
so-
hop in, and tunnel systems.
Okay. I have imported Big Zorn. And then fuck. We have blacksmiths here, right?
There are some small type blacksmiths here. They're not
So
like they have the skill. They don't necessarily have a lot
I have
of
options of
resources.
who I want to summon here. Okay. Okay. Okay.
I have an idea. You know how
Okay,
dwarves
no.
have guns?
Oh my
in
god,
their
hell
armor?
yeah. This is what I'm doing. I'm gonna summon a salamander. They are actually they're known as living forges and weaponsmiths.
Fire salamander. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Not like just a normal salamander. I summon
A
my
normal
brain
Not to be
demon.
confused with
Virginia
frost
Rock
salamanders.
salamander.
Connecting the dots yet. My brain wasn't.
Not to
Yeah.
be confused with 40k salamanders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was picturing a green, like we're in Animaesus land, man. I was just like, what? You want to summon a squamata?
Yeah.
No, just summon an actual little green salamander.
It's just like,
It's either that or I summon an Azer. Which one's better at crafting?
You have the forge and you have the forge master.
The forge master would probably be better.
But they're both good. They're both good at crafting though.
Like, just take the better, whatever one's better at crafting. Then, unless
Oh,
they're
fuck.
equal.
Never mind. Yeah, no, I'm not doing Azers. They're like they make jewelry. Fuck them.
Fuck those guys.
That's useless.
Yeah. Salamanders literally have like it says in their lore their asset is skills as smiths, allowing them to their inherent heat allows them just to shape and soften iron with their bare hands. Iron and steel. So yeah.
That's
They're not as
fucking awesome.
meticulous, but they work faster. This is what we need.
As
This is what
long
we
as we have more weapons by the end of the day, they don't need to
Yeah.
be.
We have our
It just
material collectors and our fucking oh man, this guy's gonna be working around the clock.
okay,
So
conjure elemental.
two big Zorns.
So we have one Zorn create the pitfalls, another Zorn goes digging for materials, and the salamander
Okay,
crafting.
forges.
okay. So
I'm using summoning for good. And I
uh,
wasted 3,000 gold.
And while they are collecting wood and stuff, Strike will dig a few tunnel systems, and then when they come back, he goes to supervise and test.
I'm going to enjoy playing with the idea of how they do have their own unique personalities.
Yeah, they do. No, fully. They all do. I'm not summoning like completely unintelligent creatures. They have like 11 int, both of them. I think.
Well, just the part of conjure and elemental, they're only friendly to you while you're concentrating.
Yeah, but I planar bind them. That's the point of planar binding.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, bound to serve you. And
Yeah,
it's gonna-
why do you think Carrie and Carl's still around?
He fucking hates you.
bound to serve you.
I love
and-
him. I love him. You might hate me. I love him. Okay?
I just imagine carrying Carl dreams about eating your guts.
Sarek has some very interesting philosophies on the nature of demons. Right. Man's
Okay.
through it.
So
The lonely stoner freezes mind at night.
okay, let me get. You have how many Zorn and how many of them?
2 big Zorns and 1 salamander. That's what I got.
Okay. All right, so they're helping with some of the digging and the crafting and other things. Strike mentioned some armor.
The only thing about planar binding is if the creature is hostile towards you, it'll try to twist your shit so it can do what it wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like, I'm gonna give this guy like a good.
Meaning-
I'm gonna pay him a wage.
I mean, they're basically monkey pawing you. So, you know.
No, I'm gonna
it's
make
just-
them like me. I'm paying them a wage.
Okay.
I also have 5+1 carbons, which, given how much more dexterous leopards are probably than dwarves, they might make much better use of it, because none of the dwarves hit us with any of them.
Do you have the ammo for all of that, though?
Shit, we track ammo? Fuck.
+1 what?
Carbines.
Carbines.
I have so many magical solutions for all your problems. No, not really. I don't. Let's go steal stuff from the city.
I mean,
Yeah, let's teleport to the city and steal more stuff.
Guns.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah, you're not gonna find many guns in Lapid Land unless they already have them as part of their what I've made already. It's kind of just part of
I
their
just
character.
like, show up in front of the fifth house like, you guys got
like-
bombs.
Yeah. Yeah. To Sarek's point, you definitely could go to the city.
No,
Fuck it.
don't worry. We're not going. We don't need to go to the city.
Guys, I'm gonna go on a quick shopping trip. I'll be right back. You just
Hey,
shows
they
back
made
up
you.
like
You-
like war
We
torn
would-
face.
A test
to
that you
your
take them with
point-
into the city.
To your point, carbines are awesome. Like I have no issue. Like get a carbine if you want. But in my mind, with creatures like the Lapid who are much more dex based, I think they'd be better suited with a bow, anyways. Kind of thing.
I mean, we
Are we
already
gonna
have
close
the
it?
carbines. We strike has
Oh, yeah.
5, right?
Oh, that's true. Well,
Right,
if you want to give them, yeah, they'll use them.
It's just we also need to give them ammo for it. I mean, we could assume you have the ammo for carbines.
I mean, if I looted the carbines, we also looted the ammo, didn't we?
Yeah, probably
I
it
would
makes sense.
assume so. Would assume so. Most of the time, guys,
It's a
unless it
shotgun.
narratively matters, I don't care about ammunition. Most of the time, it's just more bookwork than I think we all need, more upkeep than I think we all need to do most of the time.
Yeah. Oh, that's
But if it narratively matters, like, hey, you're in the Underdark and it's been 3 months since you've seen a city, then yeah, I'm gonna say you got 10 arrows and good fucking luck.
Yeah, good luck, man.
Gotta
Make
reuse
'em
those
count.
arrows. Get them poison.
Make
Yeah.
it fucking count.
Make it.
At this point,
However,
you'd be better
here
off just
being
waiting for
surrounded
melee
by-
and setting them with the arrows.
Well,
Look,
just here on
I
the
have
map
10
alone.
arrows, and I know I'm surrounded by 30 drow, but 3 of you are gonna have to share 1 arrow.
Just pull a Deadpool. Just pull a
Yes.
Deadpool on them.
Yes.
But
Each one of these little marks on the map here is kind of a little Lapid village, so to speak. So the point I'm trying to get to, access to food and basic ammunition is not really hard. Gun ammunition, I'm gonna say you guys, the dwarves didn't shoot you very many times. I'm gonna say you probably picked up enough ammunition for them to fire a few times without it having to matter. Generally with NPCs, if they fire more than 5 to 10 times, and most of the time I start to narrate, well, they're running out of ammunition because most people wouldn't carry, I think, in a medieval sense, more than 10 bullets with them.
I mean, which will make sense with how we're
gonna have them fight anyway because we don't want them. We're gonna fucking this is Sparta these motherfuckers.
Oh my god.
Like it'll
Uh,
be choke points left and right. That's
Hold
how
on,
it's gonna
wait.
happen.
I mean,
You don't have the
Guys, I have a
right?
plan.
So you
Guys, I
don't
have
have
a
the
plan.
300 like, hey, there's this narrow bridge, land bridge that they have.
Yeah.
nah, not
When-
even that. Sparta's not the best example to use in this situation.
when we are going to like try and like collect them into one place and collapse stuff,
Uh-huh.
I have the spell symbol.
Yeah. I was also thinking landmines. Like if there's some way we could like put landmines
Yeah, no.
on these pitfalls.
So this
multiple glyphs of
I
warding,
basically have a dirty bomb. I basically have a dirty
Symbol's a
bomb.
better glyph of warding.
So what I can do is put down a little glyph on the ground and set off the like a little trigger for whenever I want. Even have a little password for it. And then it does a 60-foot radius thing. And I can make it do death, which is 10d10 necrotic damage. And I believe that persists for a minute.
I mean,
Yeah. Oh wait, no. Does it? Hold on. Let me see.
That was
I mean, basically,
you choose one of the options below. Once the glyph glows, filling a 6-foot radius for 10 minutes, after which the spell ends. Creature in the sphere. When a glyph activates, targeted by effect. As the creature enters the sphere for the first time. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Yeah, so I can make a fucking death sphere for what?
Yeah.
This is fucked.
but
This is
can
one
you
of those spells that isn't used very often because it's a minute casting. It's one of those spells that's literally, I think, designed for purposes like this. Like,
until the spell are triggered? Yeah, so
Yeah.
we could like literally have the
What is
Yeah.
the point
we can
of
literally have
transformation?
these. We can literally
I can
have
make them all
these
depressed.
the Zorn make these pitfalls, and when the pitfall triggers and the dwarves are collapsing in, the your symbol will trigger, and now they're in difficult terrain with the AOE that's
Now they're in
killing
difficult
them.
terrain, taking 10d10 damage.
Exactly.
This
And
is
we can
okay.
just set this
Fucking
up, and you can set this up over the course of these 10 days too.
It only takes a minute to set up.
But yeah,
I mean,
but
I
you
can only
had
do this
spell
like
slots.
once or twice. It's fucking
Yeah,
Yeah,
hold on.
spell slots.
your spell slots is
No,
what I'm
it's
talking about.
spell slots is not what is limiting me. What's limiting me is like the fucking
Money.
cost of this.
the 1,000 gold pieces. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I looked at it and I was just like, you just spent 3,000 gold, man.
I know.
We have the Lapid Queen and
Okay.
the treasure.
Do I have that
You
material on
guys are
me right
making
now?
bold assumptions that
Yes.
the queen is going to give you thousands of gold for
Mercury,
this.
Why not?
phosphorus,
It's for the own
powder,
good.
diamond.
Okay, and
opal.
they just
Look.
gave you 3,000 gold worth of gems.
She's not giving me.
Look.
She's not giving
We're-
me
What is
shit.
your first
I'm.
You're
What's
doing
that?
the equivalent of a private
investing in her
military company
own
set.
defense.
She's
This is a-
investing, but I'm also saying, like, I'm just saying, narratively speaking, the Lapids are not a rich people. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't something where they can just magically come up with 10,000 gold. They don't
I'm
have.
saying we
they'll be
provide something
fine.
far better than
If they
military
survive
grade.
this, they'll have 20 days of big Zorns.
Yeah,
They'll make it back.
they gotta survive first, though.
That's true, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's more
And
important to
are they
survive
going to
now.
survive with our help?
Well, no, actually, I have the materials for this. It's fine.
Yank.
I can cast one of these.
Yeah.
Well, depending on if you could only cast one, then we should put it at one of the more crucial points.
It's a 60-foot radius, and we can put it in a choke point. We'll do a ring of collapsible areas, so it
Okay.
collapses into a central point.
We also need to make sure it doesn't hit any one of us or all allies.
Well, we'll know where it is, and
Yeah.
we're literally
Yeah.
trying to lead them into dangerous positions.
Let me see.
We're not going to trigger.
Do I have it so that
ourselves.
you can? Let me see. So if someone has the password, are they immune to it, or is it just they don't set it off?
Wait. With my vital sacrifice and thunder damage, I could easily make any tunnel collapse. No.
I mean, the idea
No,
would
I'll
be
set off a nuke for that. It's cool.
the idea is that
It would have a spell slot is the idea.
well the thing is like we just make the tunnels in such a way that they'll be easily collapsible. that we don't need to do anything.
I love
too
that we're
special for
becoming the
that.
Viet Cong. This is awesome.
I mean,
It's
that's
what I
how we
said.
have to fight.
Viet Cong meets Ewoks meets I
Yeah.
don't know.
You guys are
Meets
outnumbered like
fucking-
significantly, so.
But are we
What did
outclassed?
they ever stop us before?
Not at
No.
all.
Well, you guys, well, that's. I think that's part of the story here. Is
Yeah, how many big
know.
Zorns do they have?
How many Zords do you have,
We have
buddy?
twice as many at least.
yet again, I'm going to say Zorns are really rare. So
Twice
I don't
as-
think anyone. I don't think
But
anyone's.
2 times
they're-
0 is still 0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nevertheless, okay. It sounds like I need to make a map.
Yes.
You can also
Sounds like.
specify a creature that don't
Absolutely you
trigger.
do.
It doesn't matter.
Make
Okay.
3 maps for that.
And also, since you two, Francis and Nova, you guys weren't here last session, Eros would specify that we don't need to go to the city for anything, that she knows of a teleportation circle on the other side of the fucking planet that leads to a very magically influenced place that you
One of the
guys
richest countries in the world.
that we could get magic items from instead of having to deal with the city and whatever bullshit is going on there.
My jaw hinges.
Literally player, like, she would say it's the Dragon Rider Academy, and if your characters know anything about that, then they would know something about that. But she would
Sarah, the Dragon Rider Academy is the equivalent of like people talking about like Harvard or something like that. Most people know of it around the world. Like it's been around for
All those prissy
centuries.
bitches.
But it's the only place literally that you.
I don't have a
ride-
degree and I can
they
kick
ride
most of their
dragons.
asses.
And are bestowed with the gifts of dragons.
I wish I had a dragon.
Narratively, the Dragon Rider Academy is like, other than Grindstone and 2 other cities, it is one of the richest places. Like,
I mean, it's full of dragons. They got to be
Mhm.
hoarded.
yep.
and
You guys never went in that rookery, guys. You never went in the rookery.
So you're
would
saying
never-
there's a chance I can ride a dragon.
There's a chance you could ride a dragon. Sure.
Don't let the dragon drag you on.
I'm kind of using, like, narratively, I needed a reason months ago. I couldn't come up with a reason. Is like, why does Alec start the Dragon Riders over again? And now I know why. So, as you guys gave him the shit to be scared of.
I have a question. Did any of our dragons ever mate and make more dragons?
did they?
That is how dragons work.
How many years has it been? Like 10 years we've discussed?
You tell me,
it's been 10
Seth.
years.
It's
Going
your
on 10 years.
timeline.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta look at the timeline. They're.
I
I
mean,
don't think they're old enough yet.
they're not even like really
They're not
adult
adults yet.
dragons. Yeah,
They're
young
like,
dragons.
okay. You
I don't know how
if
dragons
I
work.
remember correctly from basic, basic DM terms, which is where I started my idea from. A dragon doesn't reach adulthood until 100. Around 100 years old.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
They reach young adults in a similar capacity to humans, somewhere in their first decade or so. They grow up pretty quick. Yeah, here it is. Yeah.
I've
They are
also,
not considered adults until 100 years old. So
I've
none of the
seen-
dragons are old enough to bear children yet.
I've seen some times where their growth will be like hastened if they get a large enough horde.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah. That like they
mean-
gain power from their horde
No,
almost.
I like that idea.
I've run that a little
I-
bit, like where my party has a like a baby white dragon that's gotten
I mean,
bigger.
That does sound really cool, though. That does sound really
Yeah.
cool.
That would mean Wildebrand is very strong.
Very much so.
It's powerful, though.
Big money,
Uh,
baby.
He's got a nice mountain to chill with.
He's been collecting for the
What's
last
really
10
interesting
years.
with that is that the different dragons collect different things as their hordes. So it's like not even
Yeah.
money sometimes. Like the
Mhm.
white dragons like have like hunting trophies.
Yeah.
But
that's
would
what-
just
yeah.
have a lot of magic items.
It's different for each of them.
Yeah, I think silver dragons collect magic items, right?
Which one? Silver ones?
Yep.
Silver
Silver
collects.
dragons. I think magic items would be one way to
they-
interpret it. They
they-
like
yeah.
they collect unique things from people and
Yeah.
wars and adventures and things like that.
So more like a bunch of trinkets.
Like historical
it-
artifacts and shit.
I could definitely
Artifact,
see
heirloom.
them being magic items.
Yeah.
For
Now,
things
this would
where
be a stretch, but if you're offering to teleport us to the Dragon Rider lands, could Liam just be there until the 10th day to come back to do like a boot camp training or make a deal with a young adult dragon so it can be his mount for a certain
Good
finite
luck
period
with
of
that.
time?
This is an entire
Fucking
like
good luck with that.
subplot. This is an entire other thing.
Look, I said finite period of time. We can make an arrangement. Or I can go into like a debt program.
I'd like to make an arrangement with a dragon. This is how we
Liam.
make sorcerers, dude.
Well,
I gotta open your character sheet.
I mean, that would be very difficult because there aren't many not chromatic, metallic dragons. It's like the majority of the dragons would be basically chromatic at this point because of what Bahamut did, taking all the metallic
Oh, right.
ones.
Blue dragons are pretty chill. They're chill. Blue dragons are chill enough.
Most
they'll
blue
work
dragons,
with people.
most blue dragons you can work with, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They're just arrogant, really.
They're arrogant asshole.
They're
Okay,
arrogant, but
let
like,
me put it this way.
technically like not even bad like lords.
Okay, I think Eros was in. I think Lust was in this campaign. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. One of the first campaigns Sky was in, Sky played a blue dragonborn that was a henchman / lover of an ancient blue dragon that is like the equivalent of like the Italian mob. What he runs.
Oh fuck!
But like instead of just in Italy, like it spans the entirety of like Eurasia. Is like he competes with the equivalent in my world of the Zentarum, with his own organization.
Yeah,
Blue
definitely
dragons I think are fun. I think they're one of the more
Blue dragons
fun
are some
ones
of
to
my
role play.
favorites. Also, I just like their design. They're just weird ass horn.
I mean,
They're blue, they're cool.
there might be a bronze dragon or two though that he could like make a deal with. Maybe
I don't have the Dragon Rider thing up in front of me at this point. But there are a couple.
Let's see what they collect.
There are a couple dragons still around. Yes, I think it would at least give us some cool role.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you a yes or no answer right now on it because I don't know. But I love the idea of a role player of you going to the Dragon Riders and going to the rookery and climbing in there and finding a dragon and being like, "Hey, buddy, you want to be friends? You want to come across the world and help me, take care of some dwarves?" Which the world that the Dragon Riders are from, like people know of dwarves, but dwarves are not common. Like it's one of the few places in the world where you don't. There's one kingdom of dwarves in that area, and that's it. And there's and they very much keep to themselves.
like there's only at least canon wise, there's at least only one dwarf, and that's their blacksmith Gorn, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, there's two.
Oh yeah,
There's
yeah.
two. One of the Joseph's former character. I forget his name.
Runar?
Uther. Yeah, he was a dwarf barbarian that ended up loosely once Balsa, like he kind of helps Balsa with some of the training and stuff like that. In the academy. But in general, yeah, I'm
not many dwarves there.
not many dwarves. There's that one kingdom. You guys went to the kingdom a few times, but most of the time the dwarves were just like, you passing through? Okay, pass through.
Okay, just get the fuck out, Lynn. Just get the fuck out.
Just move on. We don't want your anything. But it's also the dwarves that first established. What's the word? First created the idea of the Dragon Riders. Like, the dwarves what was it like? It's like 500,000 years ago. I have to look at my calendar, but nevertheless, the dwarves in one of their last ditch efforts to try to beat the elves, because the elves had these crazy warships, airship things, was they made a deal with the dragons, and the dragons came to their side and allowed them to bond to them and kind of create that whole kind of situation. So the very first dragon riders, like the first 200 years of dragon riders, most of them were dwarves until the humans moved in, other races and things like that.
Yeah, we're going to Australia next D&D campaign. There's too much elf dwarf lore going on for us for us not to
It's gonna
Twelfth
be a
lore.
Mad
Hell
Max,
yeah, we're gonna step it
Star
up even more.
Wars, Dune. It's gonna be an interesting thing to see.
No, I haven't. I need to sit down and write out stuff. I've written out some of it, but yeah, a mixture of Mad Max, Dune, and
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yeah.
How many sunblades will there be?
How many what?
How many sunblades will there be?
How many sunblades?
Yeah. I'd imagine quite
That's
a
an
lot.
interesting question. You know, does every elf noble have one? That's a trick question.
I mean, the Sith have taken hold of Australia.
Yeah. that would
Well,
make
it also
sense.
that's also the question. Like, to what extent are the Sith in control of Australia? Is it that is another thing to explore?
Yes.
And there's definitely going to be Jedi too.
There will be Jedi, yes. But my brain is like, can elves even be Jedi anymore after what you guys have done?
I mean,
Is
I
it just
mean,
maybe.
maybe?
like it really depends on the history. Like, we gotta like talk about
D&D
Farwin's
elves,
background
maybe.
for the
But
past
yeah.
near
We got
millennium to kind of explore
Sith
it.
houses confirmed so far. So
Well,
that's one.
even what
Oh,
happened
you're not
in
a
the
Sith
Dragon Rider
house.
campaign with the elves that were
No,
involved
Animaeus was
there,
definitely a Sith house.
like they weren't good. Like,
I
and
mean,
anyway,
but-
like the chaotic good elf doesn't exist in that part of the world.
Technically,
I mean,
the most Sith and Jedi thing that there is in D&D is the Githyanki and Githzerai.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
But like with
Which,
the,
if you look at them, they're
Which one
basically
are
just
Jedi?
weird pig-nosed elves.
Yeah.
but
They're
with
like
the
apes.
with the
They're
elves
just fucked up.
in Dragon Riders, they're not Sith necessarily. Like
Mm.
they're not
Oh.
good people.
They
Like
were
talk about High
almost
King
there.
Feanor because he's on my list.
High King Feanor, like, if what's his name wouldn't have convinced him,
yeah,
High King Feanor was about to be Sith. Like, that's
Like,
not what I would have called him 3 years ago, but he was
Now-
about to become a
Well, no,
Sith.
Seth.
Now-
coming
He's on
together.
Farwin's
But-
list, and I've told you this.
yes.
They're
Well,
definitely close.
the fight between you two. Oh, good luck, man.
Oh, we're not fight. I'm not planning not to fight him.
I also think because of Horg that they definitely can't become Sith because Horg is like the top of their shit list. And like they don't have the time to like be trying to conquer other lands when Horg is going to be alive for the next few centuries. And they're gonna be aware of him the entire time. They're like Horg is their fucking boogeyman.
To quote High King Thranduil, "I am patient. I can wait."
It's like so Elstrada definitely that's where the Sith lies, and the Elf Kingdom and the Dragonlands, like they could have, but now they have like an enemy number one that they would rather focus on, and because of the tenuous peace that Alec has established with them as well, especially because he
Also-
married Boonpee.
There's also the issues of the human kingdom, and then the extra layer on top of that of Kelemvor being killed, who the human kingdom worshipped. And then, Ike and Arrow opened a giant portal to the Fugue Plane in their ancestral home 1,000 miles west of Dobby. So
Yeah, so they don't really get the chance to go and conquer lands.
I picture the elves mostly worried about that, and then Horgonoth shows up, and yeah, demon fuckers. Okay, well,
Demon.
I have a lot of.
That's a
I didn't
nonsense.
take an exorbitant amount of notes this session, but I took some specific notes on like things that you kind of have in mind for like some of these as you said, guerrilla tactics that you're going to be using.
Nice.
So
Just pull from the
The-
Vietnam War.
yeah, well, the
And-
point I'm trying to get to is I need some time to like
Really craft the map, consider
craft the map, figure out how I want this to flow, kind of thing. Oh my goodness,
Jesus,
he's huge.
mother of fuck.
Big Zorn.
That there be the
That's-
biggest Zorn I've ever seen. He's over 10
we don't need
skyscrapers
listen, you
here.
guys are afraid of the Tarask? What about Big Zorn?
There's no way we're killing that thing. We need all the Dwarvians to kill something of that size.
No, it's
And
cool.
I
He ain't
mean
trying to-
all
He
of
ain't trying to do
them
anything. He's chill.
from
He's
every
chill.
single continent.
7 times 7, and guess what? In this world, no one even knows that Antarctica exists. So you're not gonna get all of them.
Like
Well,
that is fucking
I'm gonna
Clash of the
retire there.
Titans. That is Clash of the
Yeah.
fucking Titans.
It'd be
all over
fucking
again.
cool. Hey, that's part of my goal is to have a couple Titan Jorvians climbing on top of Tarask trying to bring it down.
I'm gonna be beating that thing's head in.
No,
Or casting spells.
well in the
I'm gonna
process
nip
of
his
other
ankles.
things. I need
Well, I'm
to
gonna-
lay out some
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Okay. All of you get another inspiration point for your cool ideas and roleplay and other things you came up with today. And then
I still do
I
want
get-
to do the demon summoning and sacrifice.
then let me.
You want me to supervise? It's kind of my thing.
Hey. Well, I'm not a big fan of summoning demons. Not after the last time I had experience seeing it.
Honestly,
Um,
I don't know why you're doing it. Like, I gotta just summon an elemental.
This is my dad can handle summoning demons on his own.
The word will never escape my head. Blood for the Blood Lord. Skulls for his skull wand.
Dude, shut up! You're talking.
It gives me
What's
connections.
going on here?
I think he lost his mind.
Wish I could use the platform, but it's pretty much attuned to Kelrier now.
Hey guys, I got a question. Oh fuck.
I have an answer, I think.
Yeah. Hold on. What do you guys think happens to a soul when it's destroyed?
It goes poof.
It's just destroyed.
Well, what happens to food when you eat it?
You shit it out. You shit it out.
No. I have theories. I personally don't fucking know for sure, but I've got a few good ideas.
But if the soul is the basis of a person and it's destroyed, then the definition
Hear
of
me
destroyed
out.
is gone.
What?
Aren't you left with just a zombie or
Things
corpse?
cannot truly be destroyed, can they, though? Listen to me.
Well, now you ask about theoreticals.
I'm uniquely positioned to speak on this subject as someone who's had their soul torn apart and scattered in the weave.
Yeah, like
Staring
if you
Yeah,
take
with
a
but
rock
millions
and
of
I get a
shattered,
hammer.
lidless eyes into the shimmering void of the great wheel.
But that's torn
Broken
apart.
apart, blinded upon mortality and divinity permits.
And you call me crazy. You know what this guy's saying?
I struggle and clawed and pieced myself back together. And
Hold on,
none
Strike,
of
got the
my-
holy water?
But
I think he
that-
needs
Yeah, I got the holy water right here.
Then
Spray
I
it on
had some delicious lemon tea to feel better.
But what you're not that's not
Back
being
to the
destroyed.
subject. Sorry about the ramblings.
You said
Back to the soul. No, it's all coming together. Wait. From my
uh,
experiences and research, I am convinced souls cannot truly be destroyed. If they were able to be destroyed, how could a wish spell return a destroyed soul to life?
What is the wish spell?
I have
it's
read
very
such
I think it's something that a genie gives you.
it's very
What is a
powerful
genie?
magic. Very
It
powerful
was my
magic.
experiences in the
Well,
abyss that truly enlightened.
didn't one of the strays have a genie?
Strike.
Well, you gotta get it from a genie or a fairy.
Okay.
This is where it all ties into the demons.
I don't mess with fairies.
I believe soul
Your funeral.
functions similar to all matter and energy. Cannot be created or destroyed. Demons, I believe, are not technically infinite, but are a patchwork of the shards of different broken, used souls.
Okay, but now you're not talking about souls in and of themselves.
Let
You're
him
just
go.
talking.
Okay.
You're
No,
talking
listen,
about
listen.
their component
I
parts in
mean, like,
terms of
you guys, you
magical
making soup
energy.
or something.
No.
Listen. You have to listen to me here. They are part of broken up soul shards, bound together and forced through the pressure of the abyss into some violent creature. And why they are so violent and chaotic, they are trying to reclaim the rest of the pieces of their broken souls. They're
This is
killing
far
other
above my pay
things
grade.
to try and become whole again.
Uh,
Yes? Yes?
I mean, you see
I would
Liam
have to
attentively
say-
listening to your theory, but I mean, you could, from everyone else, you can probably tell from everyone else's reaction.
I would
Yes.
What the fuck are you talking
say
about?
I would probably say no. I've never heard any
Well,
tales
you don't know
of
shit, do you? You haven't died.
okay, but again, you were
Whatever.
talking about
Ugh,
your
I start
soul.
smoking.
You were talking about your soul being torn apart, not
Yeah,
destroyed.
keep it together. Keep it together, buddy.
Spark, let's have a
Until
cigarette.
Think
that's
of it
how I
this
got
way.
the okay. That's how I
Like,
got the idea of the soul shards because I had
well,
to piece myself back together, and then Carrion Carb. I think I used to know him.
Okay, but it's a thing where, based off of my magic forms from my soul itself. I get that souls have magical essences to them and could be broken down.
Think about the bonds between the parts of the soul. There's not all just one thing. There's
Well, the reason
intricacies and curves to it.
that's a
I'll
nice
have
argument
to
there you got there, you
disagree
two.
with you.
How about you back it up with a source?
Okay, I'll kill myself.
The reason I'll have to
Kill
disagree
yourself.
with you, though, is because based off of what I've gathered from Mistra, if I sacrifice
that
some,
bitch doesn't know shit.
I would be very careful with saying that.
She
Seriously
is
trying to
not
claim
the
the bonus
goddess of
that's
magic.
bullshit.
She's a regulator. She didn't make the weave. She doesn't control the weave. She just puts rules there. She
Kind of, that's good.
no
Eris,
no
doesn't
no
she
no no
control
no
the
no
weave?
no. The weave was not made by her. The weave was
She's
there.
goddess of magic, so she
She
has some
only
degree of
is a
influence over you.
regulator.
Let the wizard, let the well, you're
Can I
not a
please-
theologist,
can
but
I-
he is an arcanist.
Can I please finish what I was saying, though? I let you finish.
Well, technically you didn't. You kept interjecting, like I'm interjecting both of you
Yeah.
right now.
I'm also interjecting here.
Yeah, we're
No.
all
You can
going to
finish
interject each
now.
other.
That's
But
how
finish
communication
judging.
works.
Hold on. Let her give a piece. Yeah, let her cook. Come on.
Based off of what Mr. told me of Cash, I could sacrifice everything of myself into Cash, but that would permanently kill me, meaning I can never come back to life. My soul would be gone completely,
I think I
broken
could
down
do it.
until its magical essences to power Cash himself.
Yeah, but I think I could probably bring you back.
You couldn't.
I think I could.
I'm not going to bother testing that, and I don't think you could.
Well, we can agree to disagree, one scholar to the other.
I've been bound to
I've
Cash for
seen the abyss. I have seen the weave and what connects it.
But have you been bound to a Dwarvian for over a month and communicating with someone who, well, at the very least regulates the weave?
Mistra only limits us.
But that does mean she's a better authority on how the weave works than us.
Blah blah blah. Why would she tell you?
Liam, do you have some wheat on you?
Oh, I got weed. You want
I
elven
have-
moongrass or halfling leaf?
Just anything, really. I need something to wrap my head around.
You want to chill out? Elven moongrass. Here you go.
Thank you. And Strike lights it up. Lights it up.
It's real mellow.
Gets fucking high.
Real mellow. Yeah.
Look, I'm not gonna say.
Welcome back, Seth.
Look, I'm not gonna say I'm absolute total besties with Mishra, but
I don't hate her. I'm just really like, whatever, you know?
I don't think she has it out for me, and she is telling me the truth that I should not sacrifice my everything to Cash if
No,
I
I think
want
it's
to
a bad
stay
idea.
alive.
I think that's a bad idea. I'm not saying you should do that. That's dumb.
Eris, if you sacrifice
don't really-
yourself and die, I will never talk to you again.
Well, yeah, I'd be dead,
yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. Why does that stop someone from talking to the dead, though?
but no, my soul would literally be gone. There would be no way to contact me any way, shape,
Or
or
would you
form.
be spread out
Well,
among
I think
the
you'd be more
abyss?
than dead then.
Yeah,
You
my
be double
soul-
dead?
yes, my soul would be broken down into magic and absorbed by Cash.
And go to the abyss.
But couldn't Cash
No.
just,
No, what
get
I'm
it back
saying
out?
is it doesn't eat the souls themselves. It takes the energy from the binds of the parts of the soul being broken.
The soul itself gets broken down into the magic.
Yes, the shards don't go away, though. It gets broken down into smaller parts. That explosion of energy is what makes the energy.
But
That
the
implies you
soul
can combine
itself,
different souls together.
You can
Yeah.
do that, yeah.
that would imply that the parts of the soul aren't energy themselves, but everything is energy.
Yeah,
My
everything's energy. I'm saying that, but the bonds between them are also energy.
Yes, and Cash would absorb those bonds too.
You don't know that.
So, like, if we
Yeah,
keep
I
cutting, is there a point where we
do.
just
No,
can't
you're
keep
just making
cutting
this up.
anymore? Like, think of it this way: if I get a rock and I get a hammer and I smash the rock, technically one can say it's destroyed, but also someone can say it's not destroyed. It's just been converted to something smaller.
Exactly. You
So then,
get
if I
it.
keep smashing the rock
But
particle,
we're not.
is there a point where I just can't keep smashing it?
But what you're not understanding is I'm not smashing the rock to bind to Cash. I wouldn't. I'd be.
All right. When you eat a burger,
Hey,
you
no fair. I
destroy
asked
the
that first
burger.
question first. I asked her what happens if you eat food.
Yeah. No, the waste products get shit out.
But what about energy? Don't you get energized from eating food? Don't you use that?
Exactly.
It's
You
not.
break down the bonds.
But this isn't a breakdown in the same way as food. This is a
You
total.
literally don't know that.
I mean, a lich eats souls, don't they? Don't they consider souls food?
Call up Mister right now. Put her on the phone. We'll discuss philosophy.
Yeah, call Mistra. It's giving me a headache.
I need to have a phone argument with Mister.
What is a phone, by the way?
I don't know.
What is
man.
a phone?
I just keep getting these weird words from the abyss.
Again,
Maybe you should
no.
stop talking to the abyss.
Nah, it's fun.
Hey, when you talk to the
I've
abyss,
been-
sometimes the abyss talks back.
Yeah, actually, all the time for me.
I don't think that's
I
an
know
old
this
saying goes, but I think in his case, it makes sense.
Anyway, whatever. I don't really find a lot of interesting in gods. It's kind of weird.
But we're talking about matters of the soul, and I'm saying that Cash would absorb all of my essence.
I said
If
my
I wanted-
theories.
Wait. Shouldn't
said my
we
piece.
focus on something more important right now? Like making sure the leopards don't get destroyed.
Huh? Oh no, I got that handled. This is our smoke sesh time.
Fair enough. Give me another.
Yeah, that's your other one.
Ah, that's good stuff.
I reached into my Heward's handy
What?
drug pouch.
Dad, have you done the summoning thing?
By the way, where does your dad get your demons? Does he get it from that blood lord that I heard about way back when, or does he? Oh, wait, how about this, Sarah? Where do you get your demons?
My ex-wife.
Your wife was a demon?
What?
Yeah, no. When I was in the abyss for a while, there's this like place where there's a lot of gambling and like brothels and stuff, and there was this like I'm married to like a demon,
Okay.
a demon lord of I think it's like obsession or something. The thing was she tried to like, well, what happens is she like gets obsessed with you and then like she suffocates you and kills you, but like I don't need to breathe.
Oof.
So,
So, any kids in the divorce?
Nah, it was amicable.
when Eros asks him, he kind of Cerulean nods. He's like, "Give me a second," and he takes out the blood vial and he begins to speak the words. He summons a demon, and you guys continue to talk. As he's doing it, the demon comes, and it's floating next to him. It's this weird shadow, and like you had like 30 seconds go by there as you guys were talking since Eros said, "Hey, Dad, are you done?" In that 30 seconds, he's walked closer to the campfire, and then as he's almost to the central part of the camp, the shadow stops. The shadow like disperses a little bit, and then it like pounces on Cerulean. And Cerulean, he turns around, is like, "What the fuck?" He shoots a disintegrate at it. It misses completely. And then he's like desperately trying to get away from this thing as it claws at him multiple times. And he finally screams out at this point, "Help!"
Oh my god, I'll just do this from now on. Holy shit. Did you not even do a magic circle? Dude,
Yeah.
amateur.
Did you not speak to the blood lord? Didn't you ask him for something? Hold on.
Amateur.
Man, if only I had memories of this.
Eros.
Maybe I should have written down.
Cerulean rolls a 23. Of course I did.
I roll my eyes.
Eros
what
would
am
just
I gonna-
immediately jump into cash to and then would try to pin down the demon.
And Strike would punch
Nah,
Cerulean in the face in the hopes it
Sorry,
does
it's
something.
not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's a shadow demon. I got this. So I'm gonna
Again,
cast.
you just would attempt.
Let me see. I'm gonna.
I
Hey,
would
you cool
just
with me
like
just
to
getting rid of
say
this guy?
no one explained this process to Cerulean. They just said, "Hey, can you summon
I'll punch
demons?
him.
Yeah, I need blood." Like no
Oh,
one
did
explained
I? Oh,
anything.
why didn't you ask? I could do this for you. Whatever.
You
I'm
punch
gonna.
Cerulean
I
in
cast.
the face.
I
He
cast
falls.
banishment. I cast banishment on him.
All right, that's a charisma save, I
Yeah.
believe.
Hey, dude, fuck off.
He disappears. The creature disappears. That is. And Cerulean is just like he looks around at all of you, and he's like,
You know, I think
"What
he was gonna
magic
take it.
circle?"
I go. Well, I'm gonna here. I'm gonna. I inspect his magic circle.
There's
You
no
make
magic
this magic.
circle.
What?
He drew a circle in the ground with a twig and poured
Do
the
not
blood
know
in
it.
it, and that's what he did.
You just tried to summon a demon and hope for the best.
You said you wanted
This
me
is
to
so
summon a
fucking
demon.
funny,
You didn't
dude.
say that you wanted me to make the demons do anything other
This
than
is
that.
awesome.
Yeah, you know what? I think I know what happened. The demon tried to take his skull to add to the Bloodlord's skull wand.
Dad, obviously I would want. Dad, obviously I wanted it to not go out of control.
Well,
Like
sometimes they go out of control. I thought you knew that.
No, I don't summon
Leave it to
demons.
leave it to Zach from now on.
Wizard. I don't have all these things, and he points at like Sarek's book that let me do all these things. I summon demons because I learned how to do
He
it.
sees me
when
putting
I
out a
lived in
cigarette on
Newview,
my book.
right?
So,
I needed to scare a lord in Newview, and I did it, and that happened.
Let me
And-
guess. You tried to summon something that you knew was probably
Wait, did you
much
guys-
too big for you.
What was the plan here? Did you guys have the materials for a planar binding?
no.
A plan what?
What?
Cerulean says.
He's just gonna go
Sorry.
away after an hour and start killing people.
Sir,
It's a shadow
Sarek,
demon.
I
He'll
was
kill like half the
that's
city.
spell. No, I don't know that
Sarek,
spell.
I was going to absorb the demon's essence.
Well, you have a few
Oh.
moments before he disappears. Maybe you can. All right.
Yeah, no, I can bring it back.
I just
Here,
needed
everyone step
to
back.
not. I just needed to not move. I don't know how long it'll take to do it, and if you can move.
Just give me a second. I
Eric,
love
How do you
spells.
keep a shadow demon in
Eric
place?
would like you to roll an Arcana check.
Oh no, I know what to do. Oh, I got this. Well, Arcana check.
Okay.
I know what to do. I figured it out. 29.
Okay.
Actually, fuck this. I
Your
want a 30. I'm just gonna use it.
banishment. Your banishment. You generally feel you don't know what you're concentrating on anymore. And I
Another
would
32.
like. I would like to post Cerulean's spell. If you look at the second to last paragraph, if you stop concentrating on the spell, which he did, it reaches before it reaches its full duration. An uncontrolled demon doesn't disappear for 1d6 rounds. I rolled that d6 already, and sometime in your banishment, it disappears and goes away.
Alright, I lost it.
What do you mean you lost it?
I lost it.
Ah.
Hey,
How do we lose
okay.
the demon?
Hold on. He went home.
You forget to cherish it.
He went home. Okay, let's do something way more safe. How about that?
I can summon another one. Cerulean.
No.
Don't try again, old man.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna do
Okay.
something way safer.
He dusts himself off, and he's gonna heal himself for a
That
little
was the
bit.
second time I had to observe a demon something go terribly wrong.
We're
So
gonna do
I'm gonna
something
go
safer.
somewhere else.
All right.
And Liam goes foraging deep in the
You're
woods.
gonna eat a fire elemental.
You've just got to loot.
Yeah, that's
Who's-
fine.
I'm
Who's
gonna
eat
feed you a fire
elemental?
elemental.
Oh. I was like, who's eating a fire elemental? Are you making Cerulean eat a fire elemental? What's going on?
Watch this. Wait, hold on. Watch this. Say really watch this shit. I do a fire breathing routine. It's kind of shitty because I'm just like spitting out like disgustingly high proof alcohol, and it's just burning my face constantly. And then like after 10 minutes of that horrible performance, on the final like fire breath, a full fire elemental comes out. He won't even.
Ooh.
I have full control over him too. He won't even stop you.
Is this
It's
even
like
conscious?
it's okay. They're not real. They're kind of like not. They're forces of nature, and they're like kind of not. They don't have any personality to speak of, or dreams, or ambitions, or
Do they have
anything.
a magical
I kinda
essence?
would have, but why
Yeah,
is
no,
someone this sound for me fucking depressed?
a lot of magic. Oh, that's because he does have a personality.
Oh, why?
Oh, he's related to cloud giants.
The others are not. They just exist.
Yeah.
Well, I'll
Yeah.
give it a shot
Magic is
then.
fucking weird, man.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
Eros will
Eat this guy.
Eros will attempt to absorb the fire elemental then.
This is summoned through Conjure Elemental.
Yes.
Question is, do you conjure the elemental? Like, make it
Yeah,
out of
dude.
the elements, or do you summon from the plane?
No, I'm pulling this dude. I'm calling him forth.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah. See, you can emerge from a bonfire. I did a cool fire routine. Yeah, here. I'm gonna go get high. Actually, I do have to go right now because I have to eat dinner. So,
Ooh.
I'm putting all of my inspiration, which is 2, into my lovely gentleman Sarek, and I am giving my recommendation to. I think I gotta do Liam. Yeah.
Who? I'm sorry.
Huh?
Who did you say?
Liam.
Oh, word.
I gotta do Liam. It's just nobody got me. Liam got me. I love my
Okay.
Steely boy.
With your before you go, to one quick thing. With your 30, another fucking 32.
I be knowing. I
With
been
your
knowing.
32 Arcana from earlier, you are seeing a difference here of some of these things. It probably wouldn't have worked with Cerulean anyways. That's what you're realizing. Because of the uniqueness of both between these two spells. When the concentration is broken on a summon demon spell, they go back to where they're from. When a concentration is broken on a conjure elemental, they stay here. They are part of this plane. And you think that differentiation is very key to this. So basically, Cerulean without a planar binding, it wouldn't have worked anyways.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, just guys, you gotta ask me about this shit. I'm sorry. I should have. I was busy. I'm sorry, guys. My bad.
Okay. So what I picture happening is Sarek kind of releasing concentration, and then the fire elemental obviously
Crazy.
goes crazy, and then Cash comes in and Cash. The question
Fucking
now
slurps
is
it up.
the real question now is can a fire elemental be grappled? That's my
I
question.
want to say no,
Nope.
but
Okay.
Depends on what sheet says, no?
The sheet says no. So they're immune to grapple. All right. So how does Cash grab this thing then? How does Cash try to get at this
He
thing?
just
Does
sucks.
he does he
just
have
sucks.
to drop concentration for this to work?
Yes.
Okay.
With concentration, the way I'm ruling it is concentration. It is Sarek who is keeping it here. It is not. So if you were try to absorb the demon or from a caster that's concentrating to keep it here, you would actually be siphoning from Sarek or yourself.
Okay.
And not the creature.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, I do have to go
Yep.
now. So, I hope. Did you hear any of Sarek's schizophrenic rant about how he understands souls?
Yep.
A little bit, yes.
I recommend listening to it. It's some compelling material.
I love it.
I
See
want
you
to.
guys. I
Okay.
hope I level
Nova.
up soon. See ya.
Okay. Yeah,
Have a
I
good one, buddy.
I have to look. Take it easy.
yeah, okay. I have an idea. It's gonna need it's gonna be weird. I'm gonna try and narratively justify this as best as possible. So Dwarvians have crystals within them.
Yes.
And Eros's magic, while her bard magic is based off of the weave and the arcane, her rogue magic is based off of her soul itself. So I kind of want to say um that she has Cash like bring out one of his crystals and is begins to siphon not siphon but channel her soul magic through the crystal to essentially create a more planar attachment, well maybe not planar but like just a metaphysical attachment towards the fire elemental in an attempt to grab it. Like basically not grabbing at its physical essence, but grabbing at its magical essence in that way.
Okay. I would like you to. It sounds like your magic from your rogue, because it's rogue. What's the DC based on?
Um,
What stat? Is it intelligence or is it,
well, the thing is,
or
the
is there no DC for the soul knife kind of thing?
I I don't think there is any soul knife
DC
DCs.
calculation. Okay, that's fine. Um, so you get your number of side dice is determined based upon class. Okay. I was just thinking if there was a class base. If not, then I do think a charisma check makes a lot of sense. And it not necessarily because it's your arcane, your bard magic is connected to your charisma, but charisma to me, if you look at all the spells that make you roll charisma saves, like banishment, they're all things that involve like the soul, like that help you keep control of your own soul. Like banishment is banishing your soul, your essence to another plane, kind of thing. So, I think a charisma check makes a lot of sense. You can add like do the equivalent of like a spell casting, attack check kind of thing. So charisma plus your proficiency,
Okay.
and it will basically do the equivalent to try to oppose you, and kind of thing. So it's proficiency is 3 minus that is 1.
Uh, I don't think that's adding my proficiency because my proficiency is 6. So I think I have a 25, which I don't
It
need.
is. Yeah, it's adding your. It
Well,
looks like it's adding your jack of all trades. That's what that 3 is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
So minus the 3 is 16 plus another. So yeah, plus another 3 basically. So
Then
20.
24.
Yeah. Okay. It rolled a 19. Plus 1 for its proficiency, minus 2 has a 3 proficiency, minus 2 from its -2 charisma because it's an elemental. Elementals do not have high charisma in any way, shape, or form. So I'm gonna say there's like Cash's hands don't grab on it, but there's like an energy about Cash. And if I remember correctly, no, that was someone else. Nevertheless. So Cash, like, I don't know, how is he grabbing onto this, or is it just like frozen in space? Like, if there's something you want to narrate there?
It, so I think it's like he has like Cash has his palm out, and the purple lightning that streaks off of arrows is like sapping out of the palm of his hand towards the elemental and binding it in that type of way.
Okay, I like it. You grab onto it, and you don't do much of anything here after that check. Like, it's all cash. You're not like there is just there's an absorption happening here. There's a siphoning happening here, and those of you outside cash can see, like, it reminds me of like one of the Star Wars movies, one of the new Star Wars movies, when they're like sucking up the sun to fire the big gun. Like there's a similar like the fire is like spiraling into Cash, and not in a specific place. It's just like coming in and around Cash, and it's just rather than burning him, rather than incinerating him, it goes deeper. Almost subcutaneous below his armor, kind of thing, and the elemental soon disperses, is no longer like alive in the simplest terms. And Cash, this is a CR5 creature. So Cash gains 5, and I'm adding it to Cash's sheet on the bio and info page. He has 5 out of the 100. He's starting to begin towards those things. All right. I love the imagery. Eros get another inspiration point. And I guess it's a good as place as any to sort of pause here.